Like we always do with this time, I go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. Go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
Talk about that. Hey everybody, hey, it's This Week in Startups, and we're here, we're live, episode 12. Amazing, I can't believe the show is 12 episodes long. We've got incredible guests today. Actually, these guests, Tyler, we've wanted to have on since the beginning. These guys actually, big innovative guys in the space, doing great stuff, and they're actually big supporters of the show. Pretty exciting.
They make the whole thing happen.
Absolutely. So let me just, and a kind of a crazy week for us, huh? It seems like there's a lot going on, isn't there?
This week went by.
I can't believe it's Friday.
I can't believe it's Friday either. I woke up this morning, I was like, it's Friday. We're doing a show today? Friday?
Maybe we should work Saturday and Sunday and make that Thursday, Friday. Okay, everybody from Mahalo who's listening, today, Friday, is actually Wednesday. You have to have a little ability to hypnotize yourself. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow and Sunday will be Thursday and Friday. But crazy week. I wrote a little article last weekend about Apple. It's just like sort of an observations from the This Week in Tech conversation about, gee, it's such a closed platform, it's got to stop, it's too much. And boy, did that got picked up.
Yeah. I noticed you're using a MacBook.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, this is the thing that's crazy about, I just want to talk to, this is a message for Apple fanboys. So if somebody can cut this part of the show, put it on YouTube and just say, message to Apple fanboys and girls. We spent 30 years of the industry trying to make an open system, the internet, applications, everything's open. The reason why there's such colossal growth, the reason why UStream can do what they do, Mahalo does what it does, Twitter does what it does, is because of an open platform. Nobody will invest in a closed platform. And if you do invest in a closed platform, it will come back and bite you right in the ass. Okay? Period. There is no reason why Apple cannot make the iPhone a little more open. And the argument of, oh, we have to make the Apple platform so, easy to use, that you, the person who paid for the phone, the person who pays for the data plan, is such a schmuck that you can't decide what applications you run, and you can't decide how you use your data minutes. That is absurd. So to the sellout Apple fanboys, F you, number one, you have no objectivity, and two, you're a bunch of sellouts to the open internet and technology. Technologists are supposed to be rebels. We're supposed to fight against the machine, and you guys are a bunch of sellouts and drunk on the Apple Kool-Aid. Is this good enough for the link baiting?
I love it.
Okay, good. Cut this part about the link baiting out. Listen, you're all a bunch of sellouts. You are fighting for the wrong cause. The cause of the mighty and the just is an open platform where everybody can excel. If Steve Jobs wants to keep the whole thing closed, okay, fine. Ease of use, I'm with you. Just a little button on the old iPhone that says, allow experimental applications unverified by Apple. If I click that, I'm on my own. No customer support, no crying, no going to the Genius Bar and waiting 3 hours and paying $100 to be told that your battery can't be replaced by you, or whatever happens at the Genius Bar. I mean, have you gone to the Genius Bar?
I think this is why Apple, I think this makes sense now. The reason Apple is so paranoid about people doing whatever they want to do. It's because they're sitting there vetting all these idiots at the Genius Bar all day.
So they have some insights.
They realize how stupid people are.
Right. And they're like, the Genius Bar, even though they have, how many Genius Bars are there? There must be like 100 or...
Genius Bar?
Well, it's like 500 Genius Bars. And let's all admit it, anybody who's gone to the Genius Bar realizes that even the guys at the Genius Bar aren't geniuses, and certainly the people in line, they're idiots.
Right.
I mean, anybody who would go to the Genius Bar is an idiot. I mean... Just reformat your hard drive, it'll all be fine. Anyway, I'm going on a tremendous rant. It's a total sidetrack, but Apple fanboys equal technology sellouts. That's the bottom line. You all should be ashamed of yourself. I'm sickened by you guys. It's pathetic. You can't have it. It's like the people who can't have a realistic discussion about healthcare. Apple fanboys equal nutcases going to town hall meetings and screaming and yelling and like this la 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 la, I'm not hearing you, la 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 la. That's what Apple fanboys are. They do not want to admit that Apple could actually do anything wrong. And I had a developer come up to me at the DigiDay Apps conference on Wednesday. It was a great conference, actually, DigiDay Apps. And said to me, oh, by the way, I work on the Apple platform. The the new tablet, blah, 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 that's coming out thing, it runs iPhone OS. I think we see where this is going. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Browser that one's going to run.
Oh, yeah, gee. For Firefox? Opera? No, of course not. Anyway. I'm sickened by you all. Apple fanboys.
Don't they remember
Disgusting.
the 1984 commercial?
Yeah, the whole idea of the... Exactly. Hold on a second. Wait a second. That was a pretty good insight by Tyler.
Insights from Tyler, 'cause Tyler is smarter than you. When I say you, I really mean me. That's why we need insights from Tyler.
Insights from
There
Tyler.
was a famous commercial. That was the whole, what Apple built its...
Fighting the machine, fighting the man who is oppressing you. And Apple fanboys, you want to know who you are, Apple fanboys? You're those little gray dots sitting in the rows like this. Oh, that's what you are, Apple fanboys. Disgust me. I'm disgusted by you guys.
Most of them probably don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're actually right. I think a lot of the Apple...
You can't be a real fanboy unless you know what that commercial is about.
Right, I think the Apple fanboys don't understand the goddamn commercial.
Right.
Steve Jobs was a rebel. He was a rebel, and now he's like a total sellout. The whole idea was you were supposed to be enabled and freed by the technology, not constrained. Technology is supposed to be a net benefit to the planet, to society, to freedoms. You know, the reason why people in Iran, and I don't mean to get hyperbolic here, but the reason why people in Iran can do what they did during those things is because it's an open platform. Steve Jobs is against democracy.
He's a communist.
Pretty much a communist at this point. Anyway, Steve Jobs is great. I love Steve Jobs. He's awesome, and he does the greatest product in the world. And that's why this whole thing is an issue, is because we actually really care.
It's an intervention.
Consider this an intervention. Thank you. That was a pretty good insight, Tyler. Is there anybody working with me on the show?
Insights from Tyler.
All right,
'Cause Tyler
cut it off. Can somebody wake up out there in the control room? What happened to all the interns? We used to have like 17 interns.
I know it.
If there's anybody who would like to work for free for a boss, everybody knows from the show last week, who is absolutely unreasonable, anybody who wants to work for lunch and fruit for free and get yelled at by me, please send your email to contact@thisweekinstartups if you'd like to be an intern on the Kevin Pollak Show and This Week in Startups. So, great guests this week. We have Brad Hunstable and John Hamm with us. Everybody knows Brad from UStream and John Hamm from Mad Men. No, here they are. This is the first time we've had two guests. These guys are the founders of UStream. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, sorry you had to spend 8 minutes sitting through my rant.
It was a good rant.
I just had to get it out of my system because it's just, like 1,000 emails, literally. Maybe 5,000 emails at this point. It's like the first day with 2,000 or 3,000 emails, but like 1,000 emails backed up on my inbox from Apple fanboys.
Oh wow.
You guys hate Steve Jobs, right? No, I'm just kidding. These guys, you can see the look on their face. They're like, we have things in the App Store. Don't F it up, Jason. We're trying to get a UStream application through. No, but seriously, let's talk about UStream right off the bat. You guys have a UStream application where you can watch videos.
Correct.
So people could be watching This Week in Startups on their iPhone.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Yep.
And that got approved.
It did.
Yeah.
But it only works on Wi-Fi. Can't do it on the 3G network, can you?
It now works on both the Wi-Fi and 3G network. Initially, it did not.
Right. But now, why would they approve it on the 3G network? Isn't that not supposed to do streaming video? Like, wasn't the Slingbox banned as well? Somebody in the chat room explained this to me. But so wait, how did you get it approved?
Pretty basic. We submitted it and it was approved.
Okay. Maybe they didn't look.
Well, you don't have a lot of visibility in the process, obviously, right? And typically, you kind of have to build these applications in the blind without knowing. But we submitted it in the App Store, submitted lots of apps in the App Store, and that one's been approved.
Wow. But you can't, now that it has video, actually UStream from your phone. You can't upload the video, can you?
Well, recently we had our recorder app that was approved in the App Store. I think that was like a week ago.
Yeah.
And what that allows you to do is take advantage of the 3GS video functionality and then record clips and then sneeze them out to 5 locations. It's UStream, Twitter, Facebook, UStream on Facebook, and then YouTube.
Oh, so you can upload them and do like a posterous kind of thing.
That's right, yeah.
That's awesome, because I just got the 3GS and I've been doing videos like crazy, but I'm looking for something, because I said email it to posterous, but it'd be better to do what you're doing and have it on all the video services.
They did a great job. The camera on it's phenomenal. The processor obviously has been improved, and it's pretty good quality.
It's awesome. But the UStream live video, which is what you guys are known for, that you can't do that yet, right?
Yeah, you can't do that right now.
Quick can't do that. Justin can't do that. Nobody can do that, right?
Yeah, there's no company in the App Store that allows you to live broadcast from
niche.
the
Have they
iPhone.
said why?
Have they said why? You'd have to ask Apple. On that.
Ooh, very. This would be good. All right,
Yeah.
somebody, the PR somewhere, a PR
we
person.
certainly
Thanks to
The PR person at UStream right now is like, wow, I'm glad these guys are sponsoring the show and on the show. Wow.
we have the capability, though. We certainly have the capability. We have the capability. We have other platforms where we're going to have the capability.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not a function of lack of technology.
So if I jailbreak it, is there a version I can use? If you were to, theoretically, if you guys pulled out your iPhones right now and one of them was jailbroken, would it be possible for you to have a UStream streaming video?
So
application on it?
yeah, I mean the answer there is no.
Oh.
We have no interest in jailbroken apps and things of that nature. So
Because Quick had a jailbroken
I have
one.
seen UStream working on a phone somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it was a Japanese iPhone or something.
Oh,
I'm
That's
saying.
right.
that's an interesting insight from Tyler. Don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't do it. The joke is getting old. So anyway, let's talk about UStream as a company. How long has the company been around now? Because it feels like it's been around forever because everybody's been using it. How long has it been around? Why did you found it? And what's the sort of top level, like how many people are using it? Because it seems like every time I go on Twitter, there's a different celebrity who's like Stephon Marbury, this guy, that guy's like doing it. So when did you found it and how's it doing?
Well, I'll answer half of that. So we started talking about it in the summer of 2006, and then we launched the first site at the end of February of 2007. So we're coming up on our 3-year birthday. Excited about that.
Nice.
And originally it was started for a new way for soldiers to connect with their family members all at once. And Brad and I went to West Point. We served in the Army for 5 years.
Wow, that's
And-
totally cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to Desert Storm or Iraq or anything?
Not that old.
Not that old. I'm trying to figure it out.
Not Desert Storm.
Yeah, we've actually, we've been in theater, and
That's just as a total aside, like been in theater. That's pretty cool. I love the fact that. Did you guys see what was the great movie that just came? Oh, Hurt Locker. Did you guys see Hurt
haven't
Locker?
seen it yet.
You haven't seen Hurt Locker?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, this is the most incredible film. You guys are gonna love this. But anyway, keep going.
I'll go see it.
So wait, you've been in theater.
We've been in theater.
What theater were you in? Are you allowed to say, or you can't sort of say?
Yeah, I mean, Iraq, South Korea,
Whoa.
and going back, it comes down to the fact that there was a problem and we were living it, but we weren't even aware of it until we started talking about it. And that is, when you're serving in the military and you're in a wartime environment, you're really busy, and anything personal becomes something that's outside the schedule, and you actually will calendar that in, you get 15 minutes personal time and things like that. And we were forced to make trade-offs between our families and friends because you only got 15 minutes. You call your dad, your friend Ryan, your sister who just had her second kid, and you got to choose. And
Ooh, that's brutal.
yeah, you got to choose. And the phone is few to few, and instant messengers are few to few. And we're like, why isn't there this kind of one-to-many model where you can connect with everyone all at once? And then we started talking about it some more, and we realized that hey, in society there's a one-to-many model. There's been that for forever. Whether it's president and citizens or kings back in the day, and CEOs and employees or celebrities or fans, and if you have that one to many, arguably is that interaction from the many to one valuable?
Right.
And as a consumer internet service, if we solve that and made it meaningful and organized, would that be valuable? And so that's the genesis behind UStream, is connecting soldiers and families. And I'll let kind of Brad talk about metrics and
Yeah, where are you guys at now? I saw Quantcast says you have 6 million people already. That's crazy.
We in the U.S. we do about 9 million through the entire network.
What does that mean, network? Is there other
Well, that includes the
embeds?
embeds and everything else.
Yes.
right?
Yeah, because I'm looking at Quantcast and it says 6.3 million global, then 25.4. So the difference is that means most of your site traffic is off the site.
We have seen it. I mean, it's a distributive strategy, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you can embed it just like
Facebook.
just like YouTube did back in the day. Your MySpace page into. This week we have Miss Universe. The preliminaries are going to be on there, and they're going to embed it on NBC.com. So it's certainly we encourage that distribution of the information. So we've done well, and a lot still to go.
And who are the big celebrities using it now? Because I know Shaquille O'Neal used it at some point, right?
We've had. I mean, over the years we've had a ton. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, we had Ashley Tisdale did a big web chat. The Jonas Brothers have used it several times. They got a couple more coming up. To Ashton Kutcher. I mean, we've had a lot of celebrities, and it makes sense. I mean, these are folks who have, like you, celebrities, have audience.
Web celebrity.
But have fans, have an audience, and a one-to-many platform to be able to connect with them makes a lot of sense to them. So.
Cool. Well, let's. I went a little out of order in the show. Usually we have Ask Jason, but I just wanted to sort of try something different here, which is actually like introduce you guys so people know who you are. But I also have to thank the sponsors. And I see, hey Alex, did we add a new sponsor this week? Or how many sponsors do we have? Wasn't there another sponsor coming on board?
We're still waiting to get signed.
Okay. But we do have the other one for the homework.
Yes, we do.
Okay, good. Okay, so good. I'm sorry I don't have all my ducks in a row. I just literally got back from the Search Engine Strategies Conference yesterday, local search summit, New York, craziness. But anyway, everybody knows that this show is growing incredibly. There's tens of thousands of people watching it every week, and the archives are getting hit like crazy. And I'm meeting people, I'm getting these emails from people saying they're listening to it on the way to the subway, back and forth. People are listening to some shows twice. I mean, it's crazy. And the retweeting is nuts. And it's made possible by the 3 sponsors we currently have, which are, everybody knows WebSpy, which is an amazing service that lets you analyze your logs, not just the logs of what your workers and your team are doing, but all the other different logs you have in your system. WebSpy is an awesome company from Australia, actually. I don't know if it's from Sydney or Melbourne, but they're going to fly here and be on the show at some point. And they're at WebSpy, so you can thank them. DNA Mail. Do you guys host your own Exchange server, or do you outsource your hosting of your email and that kind of stuff? Google Apps or something?
Yeah, we're actually on Google.
Perfect.
But we're at the point now where we got to make that commitment, right? And infrastructure.
Yeah. So always good to outsource things like this and not have to have an IT group, and that's what DNA Mail does. Another great sponsor from the beginning. And UStream, of course, was a sponsor from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Very cool of you guys to sponsor us. And wow, I mean, also I'm sponsoring Kevin Pollak's show, and it's great. That's how we paid for this crazy studio, which I don't know what this cost me. What is this studio up to in cost, Tyler? Is this 30, 40, 50? Large?
35?
35, 40?
It's nice. Very nice.
It's really,
just so people know the level of sacrifice at this point, that's 4 buy-ins for the World Series of Poker. I could be playing the World Series of Poker from 2010 to 2013 based on that. I mean, we're 40 large.
Taking a hit.
That's 4 high societies, as they say.
Is it 10K? Is it 10K?
10K, yeah. You poker players?
I like to, but amateur. A little bit. Amateur.
You have money? We can get a game going right now. That's always my standard line.
That's right.
So, thanks to the sponsors, and we'll have a special announcement later on during the homework segment about a new sponsor. Everybody, please thank the sponsors over Twitter. You know their accounts at UStream, at DNA Mail, and at WebSpy. And you guys see this, right? Like, you must have alerts. So every Friday you see that?
Oh, yeah, we do, definitely.
See, this is the thing that I think, so honestly, as sponsors, what is more valuable? Me talking about it, us, so there's 3 things that you guys get, which other people don't get. But there's the ad in the show, there's the fact that we use the technology, and then there's the tweeting. So if you had to say, like, in order and percentages, as marketers, which is the most valuable? Is it the twittering, the using of the software, or the actual in-show ad? What gives the most value?
I think for me, it's actually using the technology.
Yeah.
Because you're showing your viewers, how to use it and that it works. The other ones are, building brand awareness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. So out of those other 2, the ad in the show or the ad on Twitter, what do you think is more valuable? I'm curious.
The nice part about the Twitter advertising, this the potential ripple effects. When the retweeting goes on and the mentions, and we track that stuff pretty closely, and I mean, there's a lot of brand awareness that's built from the network effects of that thing cascading out.
Totally, I agree. And whoever thanks the sponsors, one of the people who thanks the sponsors is going to come to TechCrunch 50. on September 14th,
Exciting.
15th. Free. And you guys actually last year were sponsors of TechCrunch 50, and you did the live stream from the show, and that was crazy. You guys had
crazy.
I mean, how many people were watching that over the couple of days? There were 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people live.
That was right. Yeah, about like
And we didn't
6,000
do
people.
6,000 concurrently.
6,000.
And what was the total number of streams over the 3 days? Must have been hundreds of thousands. Then.
Hundreds of thousands. And like we'll go travel obviously and talk to people, and they'll always say, "Oh, we're watching TechCrunch 50 on UStream."
Yeah.
And we'll be like, in Asia.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
It's fantastic.
You guys have any international stuff yet? Oh, soon. Okay, good. I like it. We've been. Tyler and I are smiling. We've been in Japan and Korea of late. Is there anybody doing live streaming like UStream kind of stuff in Asia yet, or no?
Yeah.
There's a few smaller players.
They photocopied your site. It's basically what happens at this point. It's unbelievable. So anyway, this is a great part of the show. You guys have seen the show. This is where we do Ask Jason, other fellow entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs ask questions. That's
great.
You guys listen to the question intently, and then think if you have something to help this person. And I will do the same. Let's go to Ask Jason. And we have a little graphic too.
This is great.
It's a very professional situation. This is what your sponsorship dollars are going towards, a professional situation.
That's great.
And the phone is ringing.
All right.
Here we go. I will hit the speaker key. This is a very sophisticated setup you can see here. I hit the speaker phone, and then there's a little lavalier microphone over here picking it up. That was a Tyler insight building that. And caller number 1 is Peter. I won't say his last name, but he's calling from the 630. Where is the 630, Peter?
630 is the western suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, do they call that Chi-Town? Or the Shire?
Only people that don't live there call it Chi-Town.
Okay, good. Well, that would be me and Jay-Z. So, mad love for Chi-Town. What's your question for Ask Jason?
My question is, I'm kind of the opposite of a prototypical startup founder.
Yep.
I am married, I have 2 children, and a mortgage.
Ouch.
So all those things, and a job, all those things working against me. But I still feel like I should be able to do a startup, or at least I want to.
Right.
So let me give a little background on what I'm working on. I'm making an online version of a trading card game like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, but with a science and technology theme. I think that's a good business to get into for a couple reasons. Number one is that all the games out there are fantasy themed, monsters and magic.
Right.
And so with a science and technology theme, I would stand out in that regard. Number two, there's lots of parts of the game that work well from a consumer psychology standpoint.
Right.
Buying a pack is like
Sure.
gambling because you want to get something really great. Collecting is addictive. Take it from someone who
Sure.
spent pretty much every dollar he earned between the ages of 13 and 15 buying Magic cards. And because there's so much commitment to get into it, the people that play the game are really big fans. The reason why I think I can succeed in this is because the games that are out there are mostly driven by their brands, because they've built up successful brands over the years, but they're not very good at the online version, the online game, mainly because they don't want to take away the value of their physical cards.
Right.
They don't want to, kind of like movie companies don't want their
I get
games
it.
to be
I get it.
online.
So your question is what?
My question is, given that I have limited time and money resources, but a good idea and skills that I think will help me succeed, what can I do to make the most of what I've got?
This is an excellent question. I get this all the time. Married, I've got kids, I've got mortgages, I've got commitments. Can I do a startup? The answer is very simple, no. Thank you for calling. No, I'm just kidding. Don't hang up. I'm kidding. Jason from a year ago would tell you before my wife got pregnant, this is absolutely impossible. You can't have kids and be a startup founder. But now that my wife's pregnant, I'm absolutely believing that there is some way to make this work. But I'm also terrified of having no sleep and coming to this office and how much energy I'll have. Fred Wilson of AVC.com had a really interesting post about how all the most successful entrepreneurs he had were like in their 20s, and older CEOs couldn't do it, blah, 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 and for whatever reason. And I think there's a couple of things there. One is your mind is very malleable when you're young and you are naive. So you can say, I'm going to make a social network that's better than anything that exists, even though there's a ton of them out there. And, I'm going to do this. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg did, or, Bill Gates when he was young. So when you're young, you're naive and you can think about these really big things and go do it. And there is something to that. The young mind is very open to insane ideas and very risk-taking. As you get older, maybe a little less. However, Evan Williams from Twitter is a second-time entrepreneur, and he's 30-something. He just had a kid, and he's doing it with Twitter. So it can be done. You're going to need help, I think, is the key thing. So you have to, I think that the variables are, what is the scope of the project? Is the scope of the project building the largest social network on the planet with 1 billion people? Or is it building a game company that is educational, et cetera? So I think you've already done yourself a really good service by picking something very niche and that you can accomplish. And then the second thing is, how long have you been an entrepreneur? You're a first-time entrepreneur, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So first-time entrepreneurs are different than your second, third, fourth time up to bat. By the time you get to your second, third, fourth time, it's like a director who's made 3 or 4 films. They have a track record for you, and they can decide if they're going to invest in you or not, and what type of film they would invest in you. So if you've made schlocky, B films, they'll pay for you to do another one of those. And if you made Dances with Wolves, they'll pay for you to make another one of those. But they may not let the guy from Dances with Wolves make Scary Movie, and they may not let the Scary Movie guy make Dances with Wolves, if you catch my drift. You have to know where you're at. And so I think if you have something that's, kind of niche like this, what you may want to find is somebody who is like you, who is maybe had a successful exit, who has bank, and who may say, you know what, you've got a great idea and some energy for this. I have some money to put to work, and I'm also passionate about education and passionate about games. Let's see if it's peanut butter and chocolate. And the two of us, wiser, older statesmen, can hire some young folks to bust ass and make this happen. So, it's totally possible. The question is, do you believe it's possible? And you have another dynamic, which is you have to get your spouse on board. So you have to talk to your spouse and say, listen, 3 years without me making anything more than this salary, I'm going to be at the office, these hours, etc. And that's not every spouse is like that. When I got married, had long conversations with my wife about this very issue, which was my DNA is I like to build things, I like to work. I don't see going to work as work, and I am always preoccupied. So that, what do they call that, being present? This is a thing that everybody's girlfriend wants to say, like, oh, you have to be present, I'm not a present kind of guy. I got 7 things on my processor, so my wife forgives me for not being present all the time because she knows I got a lot of stress and a lot of things, balls in the air and whatever. So really depends on your spouse, I think, and the scope of the project, and maybe getting some help. And if you believe it. If you don't believe you can do it, then forget it. Don't even try. But if you believe you can do it and the idea is that good, have the conversation with your wife, find a founder, and make a plan. And that's what you really need to do is say, I will do this idea if the following things align. I find a founder who's willing to put in $250,000 and give me, a $75,000 salary and understands my position. My wife buys into it. My husband buys into it. And this is the scope of the project and the business plan. So a lot of planning, I think. What do you guys think? You guys have kids, families?
I do.
Yeah. You're military guys. You have to, right? Military guys.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah. When we started UStream, for me, I actually had 1 kid already. I'm married. And in early 2007, I had my second kid. And then I left. My wife and kids were living in Dallas. I left Dallas to move to Silicon Valley for 6 months with John. We met up. We already knew each other, but we decided to both go there and raise money and start the company. And it was a sacrifice. And we come from military backgrounds where that's pretty common in military families. And so it wasn't anything we haven't ever done before. But the biggest key to the success for me had been, one, have my family on board and just being very upfront and clear that the sacrifice we're going to make. And then 2, having a guy I've known and trusted for a long time.
He got your back.
Exactly.
So I think that's key. Maybe when you're older like that and you got the family, you need to have a partner more, because when it hits the fan, and it hits the fan at home and at the job at the same time, gee, my kid is sick and my wife is grumpy and the site is down, you can call the guy like, listen, I got the trifecta right now. Yeah. I need to take care of this. Can you get the developers and get the servers back around? It's like, I got your back, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
And I'm married, and I think
no kids yet?
No. My 2 cents for Peter. in addition to everything that was shared, is just if you consider like operationally, if you really plan out things very well, I think you can leverage yourself more, and that can scale. So I'd really focus in on planning up front, laying everything out, and if you do that rather than just showing up and reacting to the environment, just kind of have a plan, map it all out, and then you can scale and manage to that. So
one nice thing about going in slow motion is that when I do have time to work on it, I usually pretty well thought out what I'm going to do and what value it's going to contribute.
But you also got to commit. I mean, if you believe in it, I don't know anything about your space, but I was working for the Perot family in a completely different industry, and I had a kid, and I left for 6 months. I mean, in my opinion, if you believe in it, you have to commit. And if you really want to be successful, because like you were saying, where's the gradient for you of where you want to take this? At some point, you have to commit. And if you don't fully commit, that gradient's probably not.
You have to know when you're going to flip that switch. And did you talk to your spouse yet about it?
Yeah, she's sort of taking a wait and see attitude at this point.
Yep. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I think if you also think about the DNA of males versus females, men, this is psychologically proven, I don't mean to be a sexist here, somebody will pull up some documentation to prove this, but women by nature are risk averse because they take care of kids and stuff like that, so she's going to think about it and be like, my number one priority is these kids and making sure that we're safe and the shelter and the food and all that kind of stuff. And then a lot of times, guys, and I'm painting with a wide brush here, are crazy risk takers who are like, I'm going to go kill that buffalo or that lion or something, and I'm going to go leave the home. So I think also appreciating, how your particular spouse thinks, etc., is very important. You have to really put yourself in their shoes with the empathy thing. But I hope that's a good answer, and keep us apprised of how you do.
All right, I will. I've got a website up right now, which is information about it. It's at geekstack.com. If you want to take a look.
Is it geekstack.com?
Geekstack, yeah.
I like that, Geekstack. And the idea here is people can learn from this idea. So it's like a game that's fun, and you're going to learn something.
Right. I mean, just ask any 9-year-old their encyclopedic knowledge of Pokemon, and you'll see how much education you can get out of the game.
I got to tell you, this is a brilliant idea. It's a really, really solid idea. And I'm surprised somebody hasn't done it. And I think that parents, you have a unique insight into that, would buy this. And I think, gosh, it seems to me like making cards is not that expensive. And if you made a prototype of this and made 1,000 packs of cards and sold it on your site and maybe brought it to a couple of stores, and maybe your wife would want to get involved in it if she's got a passion for it. But if you made one that just taught kids simply like, I don't know, history, so Civil War people or people throughout history, and they have different superpowers. Napoleon can do this, and Genghis Khan can do that, and whoever, Caesar can do this with the superpowers, but it has their statistics. I bet you might get some people to do it. And you obviously have a great focus group with your kids. So, man, I'm liking your business. I think you've got something cool here, and I hope that you make it happen.
Well, my plan is to get the online version so I can iterate through game designs until it's really good, then do small-scale printing of cards, and then with some cards and online and feedback from real customers, then take it to stores and museum, gift shops, and other places where.
It's a great idea. So what do you need? You need a developer. What is your number one weak spot where you need somebody? Is it a salesperson, marketing person to get distribution? Is it a developer to build the site? Is it a designer to do the cards? Where's your big weak spot?
Well, I'm a developer.
Okay, good.
I think I've got that fairly well taken care of. But what I would need is designer, graphic design, artists, things like that.
Okay.
Because I have none of those skills. And that's going to be a big part. The presentation is so important for a game.
So we'll take care of that right now. Hold on a second. Everybody who's watching the show, everybody who can hear my voice, I need you right now to do a tweet. @Geekstack. He's on Twitter. @Geekstack is looking for a partner with design skills to work on an awesomely cool project. If you are a great designer who's got some time on their hands and believes in education, please tweet @Geekstack. And let's try to get him a co-founder, and let's try to get me like 5-10% of the company for making this happen. Tyler, what do you think?
We just crashed his website.
Oh, sorry, we crashed. Don't worry about it. We can crash Geekstack. It's no problem. We have Geekstack's Twitter account. Everybody tweet. Everybody try to find Geekstack, a designer, to work with him. We're going to make this happen. This is going to be like I want him calling back in 2 or 3 weeks. I want to get the temperature on this. Okay, Alex? All right. So we'll check in with you, but I want everybody to try to find you a founder. And you could go, there's all kinds of local events that you have going on in your backyard.
Where's he from?
He's from Chi-Town.
From Chi-Town.
Chi-Town, Chicago.
There's got to be a founder nearby, too.
There's got to be founders nearby. Find one of these people laid off from who did brochures for some financial company or something, who was being oppressed by the man. And they'll just want to break out. And there's got to be some kids coming out of, isn't there School of Design out of Chicago? Isn't that the big Chicago School of Design is the big one? Yeah. Go have coffee with the professor over there and say who's a really great person. Maybe you can find somebody. Somebody's got to know somebody. Get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great resource. Not a sponsor of the show, but a great resource nonetheless. I think we're done with Reid Hoffman. Don't call me. We can't take your money. We're done with sponsors. But
I also know some of the guys from Threadless, and so
cool.
They know lots of designers, and that's a route I'm going down to try to find help on this.
Also, check out 99designs.com. 99 Designs, you can put up something for $25 or $50. Somebody in India, Philippines, or home, or Chi-Town, Chicago Institute of Design. People just hang out there and do contests. Make one card and put one card on there for $50. Okay? You have $50?
Yes.
You can do it for $50?
Yes.
Okay. Go on 99 Designs. Put a thing up there, tell them exactly what you want made for $50, and then tweet it back to me at Jason Calacanis or give it to Alex. We'll promote it on the show or whatever, and let's see what somebody comes up with for $50. And if you need 100 of these made, what are we talking about? 5 large?
Yeah.
That's not that much. Maybe we get them to do a bulk discount and get it for $2,500. We'll have somebody in India or Philippines with $2,500 is like 5 months salary do this for you. We can make this happen. I could probably get an investor to call in. All right, so we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Good luck with it, and we're all rooting for you. Okay, Peter?
Best of luck, Peter.
Great, thank you.
Good luck.
Cheers. Bye.
Good luck.
This could be a whole new segment on the show, which is Build My Startup. We could actually build a startup on the show. All right, let's take the next caller because this show is going to go about 7 hours at this pace. We have another caller coming in. Looks like it. From Tenno. Okay, we go. Okay. Hello, is this Sean? Hello, Sean. Here's somebody.
Same
hold on a
call.
second. There we go. Hello, Sean. Sean, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, Jason.
Sean from the.
It was great meeting you yesterday at the local search summit.
Yes. That was a good event, and you're back in the 818. Where's the 818, Sean?
Actually, I'm in the Bay Area.
The Bay Area, and you have a question for us?
Yeah. So I have a question about education. So right now I'm a university student, and I'm interested in becoming an entrepreneur and working on my own stuff. So in your opinion, how important is it to finish school, or maybe even to get a more advanced degree than just a standard bachelor's degree? And also, as it relates to starting a business, and also when you're hiring, how much weight do you put on education versus experience?
Okay, this is a good question. I get this question all the time. And let me be very clear with everybody who's watching. What you'll learn in college, graduate school, and all this other nonsense means nothing. The greatest entrepreneurs didn't go to school. So if that is any indication of what it takes to be an entrepreneur, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, they all dropped out. There's nothing that people in academia can teach you about running a company. They're in academia, which is the most non-competitive entrepreneurial place on the planet. The opposite of entrepreneurship is academia. They can teach you nothing about being an entrepreneur. That being said, there are skills that you can learn in school, like, finance, marketing, blah 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 blah. You do, Tyler. How many interns do we have this summer here?
5.
5 interns. Of those 5 interns, if you ask them what they learned more from the 8-week internships or something, the 8 weeks of the internship or the past year in school, what would they say out of 5? Be honest.
Yeah, I think all but one would agree that they learned more.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, you will learn more on the job than anything in school. My advice to you is, how many years into school are you?
I've finished 2 years.
Finished 2 years. This is an expensive school. You're just paying for this yourself?
Yeah, but it's not too expensive.
Okay, it's not too
expensive. The cost isn't really the thing, it's just time.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you're passionate about being an entrepreneur, first of all, is your mom listening? Your mom and dad listening? Okay, good. Do not play this for your mom and dad, okay? Deal?
Okay.
Okay. If you promise you won't play this with your mom and dad, forget about school. Call up the UStream guys, ask them if you can do an internship for 3 months. They'll probably say yes if you're not a total schmuck, which I don't think you are.
We are looking for interns, by the way.
So you just quit school, forget it, take a year off, call up Brad, ask him if they'll give this guy an internship if he's not an idiot.
We've done it before.
Okay, they've given internships to guys who aren't idiots before. I know you're not an idiot. You write them a nice letter. What's the email address? Brad at UStream?
Sure, yep, that'll work.
Brad at UStream.tv?
Yep.
There you go. So email a nice letter to Brad at UStream.tv. Tell your school you're going on sabbatical. 3 months with Brad and John. I guarantee, after 3 months, if you don't learn from these, can we, sorry about that, 141, can we bleep that out so we don't lose our iTunes rating? Sorry. I'm getting excited here because I think it's going to be big for you. Quit school now, immediately. Go work for UStream for 3 or 4 months. If these guys do not teach you a ton and you do not learn more than you do in school, I will, what'll I do? I will be flabbergasted. That's what I'll do. I'll be totally flabbergasted. But that's what you're going to do, okay? Do we have a deal, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the deal. And if you tell your mom and dad that I told you to do this, I'm going to deny it, and I'm going to tell the guys from UStream to fire you, okay? Do not tell your mom and dad that I came up with this idea. However, when you become extremely successful and you're next Zuckerberg, you will remember this, and I will play this videotape for you, because this is going to be the turning point in your life when you decided to be an entrepreneur. And I expect to be asked to be on your board of directors when you go public. Is that understood?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a deal now? This is an incredible show so far. Okay, no, seriously, Sean. Yeah, go ahead.
I just have an additional question about that. So say all of that failed, and obviously the whole hiring process, how much is education versus experience put in when hiring an engineer?
An engineer? I don't care. I'm speaking for myself. I find guys with graduate degrees, they think they're up here, and it turns out they're down here. And then the guys who didn't go to school but taught themselves are up here, and they think they're down here. Yeah. So I like guys who, think, who are humble and kick ass, as opposed to guys who think they kick ass, but they're not humble and they actually don't kick ass. Yeah. I'm going to let these guys answer. What do you look? You developers? Do you really care what school they went to?
Yeah, Sean. My view is, when I interview, I look for character traits, relevancy, and fit. And I say character traits first because I think we're all above the threshold of intelligence. But if you're really driven, you're the kind of person that shows up each and every day, and you're like, my success is in my hands. I'm going to blow this out of the water. You're not bound psychologically by your kind of own paradigms. I think character traits is really, really important. So that's what I weigh. Education, experience is part of relevancy. I think character traits is big for me.
For engineers, it's such a technical skill set that if you're good, you're good, and that's what we want, regardless of how you learn how to be good. Most engineers, you don't necessarily learn that skill from formal education. A lot of them don't, at least. So it's certainly, we weigh that probably by far less. It's definitely on experience and what you know. On the business side of things, we've had luck with hiring people that had higher education. We've had horrible luck hiring people that had higher education. So we take it with a grain of salt that you went to the Harvard Business School for sure.
So I also like military guys. Military guys get it. It's like character. It's so important. This is what we do here at Mahalo. Same exact thing. There's a certain type of person who does work. Yeah. And then there's these other people who make excuses, or they think they're doing work. It's just military guys know, because everyone in the military is equal, and you all rely on each other, and one day you're cleaning the bathrooms, and the next day you're setting a Predator drone to kill some goddamn Al-Qaeda scumbag. 144, can we take out the scumbag, please? How great is it that we got that Al-Qaeda guy in Pakistan?
Very nice.
Absolutely.
Nice. Did they confirm it? I think it was.
They don't need to confirm it. We know they got him.
Good.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I would give every single thing I have, every material possession, including the Tesla, maybe not the Tesla, I would give everything I have for 15 minutes with Osama bin Laden. You guys feel the same way, I bet.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'd give up UStream. You'd give up all your stock in UStream for 15 minutes with Osama bin Laden, right?
I'll be happy the day I wake up and watch
That's it.
CNN.
Yeah. See that? These are real guys. That's what I like about these guys. They're real, hardcore entrepreneurs. Awesome. Oh, Sean, you still on the phone?
Yep.
Okay, so these guys kick go work for them, don't embarrass me, okay, Sean? If you're going to do this internship, they're going to tell me, don't embarrass me, Sean. All right. Good job. Sean, are you coming to TechCrunch 50 on September 14th and 15th?
I'd absolutely love to.
Did you buy a ticket yet?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you one for free. This will start off your internship at TechCrunch 14 and 15. You go work with these guys, getting them coffee or whatever they ask for when they're doing the UStream stuff. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm serious. Whatever these guys ask, if they ask you to go get them a meatball sub or whatever, they ask you to, like, go put some gas in their car because they got a meeting, you got to do it. You understand, Sean?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Nice
Good
job.
question. Nice job. That's pretty good.
It's great.
Question.
It's a good question. It's good work. All right. So, what's next for you guys? I think we're done with the Ask Jason, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we at with the show? We're at 46 minutes in, and we've got to do news, Deadpool, homework, and then we're done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I know where we're at. So we talked a little bit about what's going on with UStream. Amazing success. I have one question, which is, what the hell's the business model of this? Like, I know that you guys are in growth mode. Yeah, millions of people, tens of millions of people are using it. At some point, and you've raised a nice amount of money, I think, from pretty good investors. Yeah. I don't know what the exact number is, but I've been seeing all these things on TechCrunch or whatever. At some point, the business has to become a business, not just like get a lot of people.
Sure.
So what is the business model? Because I was thinking at some point there would be like a premium version or something where I could pay some money. Like, we use your service, I would pay. You know, I to be honest, I like the way we can, you know, syndicate everything, but I might want to change it a little bit. I want maybe more metrics. Maybe I want to insert ads. There's a lot of things, like, because we have all these ads going on. I would like to insert ads into the stream. So is there any plan for us to actually give you a credit card number so we can pay you for this wonderful service, which is currently free, which is not a business, obviously, I don't think. What's the business plan?
Sure. So, you know, obviously business models fit a company at certain phases of growth, right? And UStream is for consumers, and it's an ad-supported model. And we have Watershed, which is for enterprises, and it's a SaaS model. And really, if you go back to UStream and consider Livestream before, it was typically an activity for enterprises, and it was based on contracts and commits, right? So you'd sign up for a year for 50 terabytes a month. We said, can we take an ad-supported model to live streaming? And obviously with an ad-supported model, it's all about, you know, can you aggregate large enough, fast enough to a defensible critical mass that achieves economies of scale that inflect in video unit economics? And it's a community model. So the more people use UStream, the more content there is, the bottoms up of, you know, let's say monetizable content, and depending on those economics, we can offset the variable cost of delivery for the greater community. So the ad-supported model is working. It's very exciting because you're starting to see content coming up with media value. One example of that is Puppy Cam. We had a live show, went totally viral.
Shiba Puppy Cam.
Shiba Inu Puppy Cam.
Shiba Inu Puppy Cam, yeah.
Came out of nowhere, bottoms up. And what we're building is a platform that can recognize that, give us enough lead time, have the ecosystem so we can go out then to PetSmart, so on and so forth, and say, hey, you know, we have this kind of curated, you know, so on and so forth, would you be interested? So that's the ad-supported model. And then Watershed obviously is SaaS, which you're very familiar with. And it's white label. It's pretty flexible.
I didn't even know about this. When did this come out?
It came out earlier this year. So it's only been out a few months.
You guys don't really push this too much. It's not like on the site, like upselling or anything. It's pretty subtle.
It's pretty subtle, and that's really because of the internal discipline of knowing where the two are, right? We've got two things, what's the relative positioning, so on and so forth. Watershed is flexible from a product perspective because it's plug-and-play simple widgets that make webcasting simple. It's robust APIs. And then from a pricing perspective, it's flexible as well. It's pay-as-you-go, so you don't kind of like waste bandwidth. You only pay for what you use. And then if you want a discount because you have predictable usage, then you can do that too.
So I have it here on my screen, Alex. So I could, for This Week in Startups, basically make a different wrapper and change the play buttons and the sizes and dimensions and all that stuff with an API and the sort of save the issues and all that stuff. So why don't we have this? Why aren't we, Alex, why aren't we doing it? Did you know about this, Alex?
Yeah.
So how come we're not using this? All right.
And there's benefits. And as long as the requirements are very clear, a lot of brands come to us and say, hey, we want to use UStream because of the social aspect, the community, the chance to go viral, things like that.
Right. So if I went on Watershed, would I still be able to sort of have my stuff indexed in UStream, like public version, or is it totally separate islands?
It's totally separate.
I gotcha. So this is the white label version, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And how is it doing? I see Disney, Duke University, Sun, Berkeley, and Sling are clients. That's a pretty good list.
It's above projections, and it's doing very well. Yeah.
So it's a freemium model, UStream community. Maybe you make a little bit of advertising off of that, but it doesn't really matter. That's the calling card, the proof of concept. Then when somebody wants to do something like Disney, hey, do it proper, boom. But isn't CBS using your stuff? I saw CBS was...
Yeah, CBS is. Brad did the partnership.
What's going on with CBS? I saw that on the site or something, or maybe a TechCrunch story.
So as we've grown, I mean, typical with your destination, you got to provide content, right? So one of the things we've been very aggressive is to be very honored to work with like some of these big media companies. And so CBS has this great breaking news content. We're a live site. I don't have the money to go out and get helicopter cams of when Michael Jackson passes away. So we cut a deal with them, and the CBS is one of those companies that's very distributive with their content, and we're one of the ones that they want to distribute that breaking news content. So on the web, the only place where, like when Michael Jackson passed away, where you could watch it and actually chat with people in real time about it was us.
Yeah.
And it's been a tremendous success.
And you did it legally. I mean, I noticed a lot, not on your service, but another service. I don't want to say which one, but on another service, like if you want to watch UFC or like these football games, like they're letting people take live streams and basically steal them. I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty brazen, I guess. I guess it's DMCAing, and you guys police that a little bit. If you see it, you turn it off. Is that?
We do. I mean, we certainly conform to DMCA, and people take different strategies, right?
Yeah.
And our strategy has very clearly been: we want content like your show. We want Miss Universe, and
Puppy Cam.
Puppy Cam, very important.
And we have tools and mechanisms in place, and it's the internet. People are going to do things, and we certainly try to be proactive in that regard.
That was a very diplomatic answer. What was that? Wow. So if you have a question for the guys from UStream, you know what to do. Go on Twitter and put #twist at the end. #, you know what that is. TWIST. Put your question in there. If we take your question, and it's a good question, which I guess if we take it would be good, we will send you to TechCrunch 50, which would normally cost like, I think it's, what is it a ticket this year, $17,000? $18,000, what are we charging?
I think it's $2,000.
It's $2,000. Maybe when it goes to the welcome, it's $3,000. And actually, there's a bunch of people. Was the last round of? Oh, well, I don't know. Was the last fundraising round of $2 million a down round? Was it a down round, straight round? What was the story?
Absolutely not. So what it was
Add-on?
was from our previous round. From existing investors who had the right to invest more.
They had a call.
Yeah.
They had a call, so they could put more money in if they wanted to, and they took it.
And they took
which is a good sign. Was that your B round?
That was our
our A was.
Oh, your A had an A plus like sort of situation.
Yeah,
well,
we closed our A, which was in April of last year, and so it was essentially just the option from that.
Great, and you guys are doing okay financially. You're not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Bandwidth bills aren't killing anything.
Absolutely, we're doing very well. We just closed our A round, which was 11.1 million, publicly announced, freshly, largely capitalized.
Sweet.
And conservatively managing the business and internal economics, obviously.
Closed in April of 2008, so it was right before the downturn. So worked out
good
nice.
call. This is a good lesson for entrepreneurs watching. Raise money when the market is hot and valuations are high. Deploy it when the market is down because you can get more money. So if you raised your money at a high valuation, that means you got $2 for every one when the market collapses, and you can buy things cheaper, so you get another 50% discount.
Yep.
All good.
Yep.
So we did. Mahalo. Very good. Smart guys. All right, so we should do the news portion of the program. Do we have Lon Harris with the news?
30 seconds.
30 seconds for Lon Harris with the news. How many people work at UStream, by the way?
We're
20, 30?
No, we're actually around mid-40s.
40 people. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's mostly developers, I guess.
You'd expect that, but it's starting to balance out.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you guys, do you guys host your own servers, or is it you use managed hosting? Managed, or you have your own rack and stuff like that? You have to for this kind of technology. How many servers?
We leverage
hundreds.
Yeah,
Gotta be north of 100 now.
We're north of 100 now.
Yeah.
We have a fairly large infrastructure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Too many to count on fingers and toes.
When you started, did you use managed hosting and then you went to getting your own cache?
absolutely.
We did the same thing.
Save money.
Isn't it amazing how cheap you can do it yourself? Like if you just, we have 2 sysadmins here, which aren't cheap, but you have 2 sysadmins, 150 servers, 5 racks, and it costs us like, I think it's $3,000 or $4,000 to rent the whole space. It's $1,000 for 100 megabit a month or $1,500. Unbelievably cheap now.
I totally agree with you.
Unbelievable. And then people are like, oh, I'm going to get managed hosting and spend $1,000, $2,000 a server a month. If you got 150 servers like we do, that would be like $200,000, and we're paying like $7,000. It's unbelievable. All in, energy and everything.
Colo makes sense.
Colo makes sense.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree. All right, so we have Lon Harris here with the news. Look at that promo.
Nice.
So proud of you, Lon. So proud.
Thank you.
It's a nice.
I copied this post from Tom Brokaw. He does that all the time.
Is that Tom Brokaw? I thought you got that from Casino. It looks like Joe Pesci with a beard in Casino.
A little bit of Brokaw, a little bit of Pesci.
Okay, so Lon, the news.
The news. Our top story this week, biggest tech news of the week. Facebook's purchase of friend feed for $15 million in cash and about $32.5 million worth of stock. Some have suggested this was a way to bring in some big talent. Some of the teams behind Gmail, Google Maps. Oh, I look kind of purple there.
Yeah, you look like an elf.
It's a little creepy.
Oompa Loompa. It looks fine. You look fine on the UStream.
I look like I had too much of the blueberry.
The blueberry thing, right. What was that in?
It's
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, no, but who was the girl?
Violet Beauregard.
Violet Beauregard.
Wow.
See, this is why Lon is the newscaster. Whoa, booyah, gosh. It doesn't look so. Look on UStream. It actually.
UStream is not so bad.
UStream is perfect. UStream corrects color problems with your camera. When did you have that feature, guys? If you're
very
angry. You know what you do? You look like Lindsay Lohan with that spray tan.
Yeah, right. That's
Did Lindsay hook you up? Because I see you guys blowing each other up on Twitter.
I have my own spray tan company.
You do?
For competitors.
Is it really?
Oh, wow.
She's like my Jimmy Wales.
Is it really? 7, 8, 9? 7, 8, 10?
Yeah, I'm 10, 11, 12.
10, 11, 12? Very good. All right, so friend feed, keep going with your news story.
All right, so that was basically, a lot of people are saying that the whole deal was getting the Gmail and Google Maps teams over to Facebook who were working at FriendFeed. Other people are saying, they're going to basically build this Twitter killer, use all of the FriendFeed features, add them onto Facebook. So what do you think about why the deal was made? Is it a good deal?
I think it's like the Surmise deal for Twitter. There's a bunch of smart guys over there. The friend feed guys are very smart when it comes to building an application. They built something better than Twitter in terms of threaded things, and Facebook stole all of their technology to do like the quick commenting that they do now, and the stream. So I think those guys know how to build a scalable streaming architecture better than anybody. Therefore, Facebook has an incredible currency, right? Their stock. They have bucket loads of cash, and they're making money now. From what I understand, they have $1 billion this year, or $700 million. They're saying they're on some run rate. It's incredible. So $50 million is not a lot of money. Probably it's $25 million in stock and $25 million in cash. They've got it laying around.
It's $15 million in cash.
It's only 15.
15 in cash, 32.5 million or
15,
so.
They make probably 15 million in cash in a week. It's not that big of a deal for them. So basically, they give up a week of revenue. They've got 1 million people putting in hundreds of millions of dollars. They get the best team on the planet doing the stream, doing real streams. Real streams, they believe, is the future. I've been saying since Mahalo launched that Facebook would launch a search engine.
Yes.
And that's what this is. It's the precursor to Facebook search. Facebook search is getting better and better. And so, it's a no-brainer buy. I'm surprised the Twitter guys didn't try to do it, but I think maybe the guys at FriendFeed wouldn't be able to get into Twitter. The guys at FriendFeed are so smart that it works against their brand building. They're not good brand guys. No offense to the FriendFeed guys, great technologists, terrible at branding.
So that's why you think FriendFeed never sort of took off?
Yes, because I'll tell you what the problem is. Twitter, elegantly simple. Facebook had momentum and a clean design. FriendFeed was just too many features. There was nobody at FriendFeed saying, stop. Let's make it easy for people to use. They just kept piling on features, which means Robert Scoble loved it.
Right.
But your mom or Shaq would be like, how does this work? It's too much happening. I log into FriendFeed, I get a motion sickness. It's like too many people, too much information, but I don't know what the hell's going on. So those guys are great, I think, to have building your stuff and scaling your architecture, but you need a Zuckerberg or Ev Williams to be looking at the final product and saying, this is what the consumers need. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys use FriendFeed? You like it, or you Twitter guys?
I think the timing of the acquisition makes a lot of sense if you consider it, right? So right now it's I don't know what Friend Feed's, let's say, funding situation is, but Facebook perhaps got a great deal right now. So
yeah, it's a good deal for Facebook.
There's also...
Oh wait, hold on a second. I think we have an insight from Tyler.
Insights from Tyler. 'Cause Tyler.
And cut. FriendFeed is one of the very few Twitter API partners that gets the full fire hose, the entire full unlimited version.
Really?
Now Facebook, as an acquisition, has access to that as well. Maybe they have some
For now they do.
theme that they plan to utilize there. I don't know, but
It's pretty amazing that people think Twitter and Facebook are equals, considering Facebook is so colossally ahead of Twitter. I think it's a testament to the sort of
branding.
Yeah,
Brand
branding
awareness.
and how good it is, the celebrity usage.
that's right.
It's been so powerful to have Ashton Kutcher out there doing what he's doing, and Diddy and all these other people.
Every news station, every TV show now.
It's unbelievable. You could, if you had 1,000 business development people out there begging people to put, UStream or Mahalo or whatever, or Facebook or MySpace in the bottom of people's things, you wouldn't get it. But for some reason, Twitter it's the name.
Struck
Twitter
a chord.
feels.
Yeah.
I think it's the name. Tweeting, Twitter, it's sort of fun and playful. They've just done an extraordinary job. Evan Williams is.
I think that might be that Twitter is new. When you discover Twitter, it's like there isn't anything. It's sort of text messagey. It's sort of a lot of other things, but it's not anything you've used before. When you first use it, you have that, oh, this is cool kind of moment. Facebook is really a continuation of Friendster and MySpace, and it's stuff we already just count on that being there.
Look at that, an insight from Lon. All right, next storyline. You're supposed to read the news, not comment it. That's my job. Stay focused here, Lon.
Stay focused.
I will do better.
That's a very smart insight, too. Jeez, you want to host a show when I'm not here? Angling to host a show?
Can I be like your Joan
Not on the
Rivers?
table.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Not on the table.
I'm like your Joan
Nobody
Stewart.
hosts a show when I'm not here. I'm like, who's the control figure?
Carson used to have guest hosts. He would have like Joan Rivers
yes.
as guest host.
Okay. Well, maybe Tyler. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next story.
Hollywood studios are attempting to prevent Redbox movie rentals. You know those kiosks at supermarkets, the Redbox? They're trying to keep them from having new movies in their kiosks until it's already been on DVD for about a month, 28 days. And the rumor is that they're going to extend this to Netflix as well. So you wouldn't be able to get a Netflix movie until it had already been on DVD for a month. And obviously...
For purchase.
No, just to rent from Netflix. Like, let's say I go into Netflix.
No, I'm saying, but it's going to be, so there'll be 1 month you can buy it.
It'll come out...
So a new window.
Right, it'll come out. Blockbusters will get them. Blockbuster stores will get them, so they love this. But you wouldn't be able to rent it from
Because
Netflix.
Blockbuster buys them?
I guess because Blockbuster's buying hard copies and then putting them in a store, they would be able to do it, whereas Redbox and Netflix would have to wait 28 days before putting it. Isn't this just really like opening it up to... Isn't this just going to encourage piracy, it seems like? Blocking people from being able to get the movie on Netflix is just encouraging more people to steal it?
You know, I give the Hollywood people a lot of credit for understanding windows. They understand how to maximize revenue. So they probably have analyzed this really well, and they're probably going to get the people who are like stopping buying DVDs to start thinking, you know what, maybe I'll buy the DVD for Iron Man. I want to have it. I can't get it, but I can buy it. So while I don't agree with the move, I think you should be able to buy the movies that are in movie theaters. Like if I want to see District 9 tonight at home because my wife's pregnant, she doesn't want to get off the couch, I should be able to pay a premium to get that on streaming on Netflix.
I totally agree.
I would pay $30 to watch it tonight at home. I'd pay $40 to watch it tonight at home. And I don't think
I think if you and your wife were going to watch it tonight at home, if you went to a theater, you'd pay $20 just to get in the door.
Well, I don't know what theater you're going to. I'm going to the ArcLight. It's $15, and then I buy, then I buy like some caramel popcorn and 2 coffees. That's $40, and then $7 for the park. I'm at $50. You know, and God forbid, you had 3 kids going to the movies. It's like $80 to go to the movies. What do you spend when you have your kids go to the movies? It's like $70. $7. What is the whole package to go to the movies?
Oh, it's $50 to $100 depending on how much you spend on
depending
food.
on if you
how much candy
are you able to keep them away from the candy counter, right?
Exactly.
If you what is the strategy when you have kids? So I know, like, do you feed them before you go to the movies?
You feed them, or you bring snacks hidden.
You hide the snacks and bring them.
That was always my parents' maneuver. Was like the Ziploc bag.
Oh.
Theaters don't like that though.
Well, yeah, but now it doesn't seem like theaters care as much. But
forget about your mom. My wife, she brings 2 bags. She got this thing and this thing over here. She has 3 different bottles of water, 5 different things. I mean, she brings so much food in there.
You love shopping at the snack bar anyway, though.
I do. I love.
You've
You've been to the movies with me.
Yeah.
I go crazy.
With the goobers.
I get the goobers. I get the
Raisinets.
raisinets. I like this red vines are delicious. I like the sweet, the Sour Patch Kids.
Walking to the theater just like this.
Chomping, making all the noise.
Sometimes has to get employees of the theater to come.
Yeah, I have employees come bring with me. No, what
bring
he's
the
referring to is when we have Mahalo movie night, not only do I buy everybody tickets, but I also buy like $100 in candy, and then I just throw it all over the place. We get the whole place in a riot.
Sometimes
it's fun.
the whole theater goes.
The whole theater goes crazy when I do that. It's fun. Good times. It's nice to work here, right?
That's great.
There are definitely moments.
Except for the moments when I'm unrealistic, like last week. I still don't forgive you.
Oh, really?
You guys,
still hanging on to that
you guys
one?
didn't see the show last week. We did an exercise in the show last week where 3 different people at Mahalo told me the worst thing about working for me.
Oh, I saw that.
We were
You
all
saw it.
very diplomatic.
Yeah.
We were very diplomatic.
People loved that segment of the show. I suggest you guys do this. Actually, I got this from a guy named Mark Goulston, who's my friend who's written a lot of books. He's going to be on the show, I think in September. When is Mark Goulston on the show? Dr. Mark Goulston?
Mid-September.
Mid-September. Anyway, he's got a book coming out. Just listen. He's a very smart guy. He was like a psychiatrist who worked on the OJ trials, an expert witness, been friends for a decade. Really smart guy. And he said one of the things he does when he does, because he does like work, he's basically like a psychologist or psychiatrist for work situations. He goes in and he has people send amnesty emails to him. Then he confronts the boss with the amnesty email information to try to help the boss optimize, whatever. So I sort of stole it from him. But man, this is a good thing to do with your company, is to have people tell
Amnesty
you.
emails. It's healthy.
It's terrifying as a CEO to have them. But what would your people say if they said, "What's the worst thing about working for each of you?" What do you think? Well, and it's not the same. You're different
people.
relationships with them. But what would they say about each of you? What do you think?
I think they'd say we work hard. I mean, we're hard workers.
Right.
There's
So
no
the
doubt
worst
about
thing
that.
about working for Brad is, in his worst moments, Brad is, the one thing I would change about Brad if I could is, be honest, what is it? Don't look at him. You know what
Probably,
it is. You know what it is. Well, first thing that comes to mind is what?
I expect a lot of people. I mean, I think that's probably
so
the biggest
unreasonable at times. The negative way of
yeah.
saying was that maybe you push people too much.
I have high standards.
High standards.
Yeah.
Unreasonable, perhaps at times, in the worst
Sometimes.
moments.
I mean-
What about you, John?
I would say can be intense, just to kind of be
Intimidating, perhaps?
transparent, and not give you a stock answer. I think intense, just in the sense that
Get pissed off if things aren't going well? Things aren't done
not like
properly?
pissed off, like irrational, but
Right.
one thing that really just bugs me is it's like execution, right? Like if we say we're going to do this, then like we're going to do this. I'd rather have a team that can execute well and have like an outcome that, let's say, like we don't want, because then we can change our strategy and have the outcome that we want.
Right.
But like if it's just like what's the breakdown, and if it doesn't make sense,
So
it's
when
like,
things don't happen and
Yeah.
people say they're going to happen, you go on tilt sometimes.
sometimes perhaps.
All right. Talking about myself. It's all projection. Anyway. All right, next story.
Next door, we have a video once again.
What?
This week, we saw the fallout from your comments about Apple all over the web. People were talking about your case against Apple.
So I'm in the news.
You are sort of the beginning of the story. Yeah,
Okay.
it just started this sort of a whole dialogue about, is it still worth having your iPhone? And there were other people talking about this too.
Sure.
Like Mike Arrington has sort of declared iPhone bankruptcy, and there's been a bunch of that going around. So one iPhone user has shared his frustration with the company and their decision about Google Voice. And we can take a look. Here's what he did about it.
I'd be impressed if it still worked. That would
That phone ain't working ever again. Damn.
That's what I thought.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
It's actually
Wow. That's a lot. I mean, guy, we get it. That's a lot of light. Back when you watched that.
There we go.
Wow.
On fire.
What is this music? This is the Arcade Fire. Or Arcade
No,
Fire?
the Arcade Fire.
The Arcade
is the name of
Fire.
that
The kids are listening to that today. Wow. So
So yeah, people are frustrated. Is this something inevitable with Apple's policies that people are going to start to sort of turn on them, and it's going to get more and more heated, or do you think that they're sort of capable enough they're going to be able to stem the tide of negativity, retake this conversation?
I think that video, Mike Arrington, myself, Gina from Lifehacker, Peter Rojas from GDGT, formerly of Engadget, I think the case, Leo Laporte from This Week in Tech has been talking about it now. It was a whole episode of Mac Weekly. You can absolutely be sure that everybody in PR, everybody there, Steve Jobs has been reading all this stuff, and they're taking it to heart. I'm sure there are people saying, who gives a what? Sorry, 2010, 34 seconds. People, who gives a crap what Calacanis, Arrington, Gina, whatever think? This thing is selling like gangbusters, and I agree with that as a business. I don't think they should stop the presses and stop selling iPhones until they make it exactly like Mike Arrington or I want. However, I think that there needs to be a Bill of Rights, and this is one of the things I want to do, is write a Bill of Rights for software developers on the iPhone and for iPhone users, and the Bill of Rights should say, Apple recognizes that as the purchaser of this iPhone, I am entitled to do what I want with it, even if Apple's not going to support it. And as the purchaser of these data minutes, I should be allowed to use my data minutes however I want. If you want to put a cap on them and charge me more because of certain situations, that's fine too. But there has to be some recognition that if you buy the iPhone, jailbreaking it, the fact that we have to call it jailbreaking is absurd. And they should allow people to build things to make their products more interoperable. They don't have to build it. Nobody's asking Apple to change their behavior in terms of what they build. But they should allow third parties to make, an adapter so Zune can be used with iTunes, an adapter so, the iPhone can run the UStream software, a quick software to do live streaming, or Google Voice, or Opera browser. Basically, we're asking them to not stop this half of the behavior, which is their own control stuff. Just let people do what they want.
Right.
And those people will not get support. So if I hit that button, my iPhone, no customer support ever again. I'm fine with that. I think they're listening. They must be. They're very smart. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it an issue for you guys or no? They're very diplomatic before.
I think the PR part, they're going to be able to come back, let's say jump in and offer their perspective, and it'll die down over time. From the actual fundamental part, will they change? Probably not. It's such core to who they are. It's been like that for many years. There's benefits, pros and cons. But I do think the PR part will kind of die down over time.
Yeah, and I think there's a window. For me, it's kind of an interesting. Is this a window of opportunity for someone else? If I'm Android or some of these other guys,
totally,
I'm
it is, yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah, the pre-Android, all these things. If you pull out your BlackBerry, you can go visit any site / you guys have a BlackBerry client or?
It's a coal in the fire.
Okay,
yeah.
So at some point you'll be able to just go to ustream.tv / BlackBerry and load it. And you make a change to your software, I can load it. And there's no 6-week process of waiting from the App Store and all this other nonsense. I'm glad that the iPhone works so seamlessly, but people who want to be cutting edge should not have to be shackled like this. It's absurd. Anyway, next story.
Next story. Graffiti Geo is a new mobile application. It's funded by Y Combinator.
Oh.
It borrows elements from sites like Dig, Yelp, and Foursquare. So you go to a restaurant, you like it, you can actually vote it up, like on Dig, and then the most popular restaurants sort of rise to the top, and then when you're in an area, you can sort of just look on your GPS and say, what are the highest rated restaurants near me? You can also leave comments about restaurants, but here's the sort of Foursquare game angle. You get points for everything you do in the system, and then you get enough points, you join a mob, your mob can declare territory, different groups have bigger territories than others and get more points based on who goes within their territory. So it's really like a whole sort of game aspect to it.
Yes. It's a good idea. I interviewed Jeremy from Yelp yesterday, Stoppelman, at the local searchsummit.com, which I think there's going to be another one occurring in Chicago at some point, which is very cool, December. And I was sort of pressing him. I was like, why don't you have the Foursquare thing? Like, I'm a Yelp user. I can write drafts. I can put in tips. Why can't I just say I'm at this restaurant right now? Why can't I check in? And he was like, we're sort of thinking about it. And I basically forced him. He basically said they're going to have it. So basically, Foursquare, congratulations, great innovation. It's going to be built into Yelp, and then it's game over. Nobody's going to compete with Yelp. Yelp has 25 million uniques.
Distribution right there.
7 million reviews. Google is like the next highest with 1 million reviews. They have 7 times the number of reviews. Wow. Yelp wins. So, I think a lot of people are hip to this, check-in thing, but it's a feature. It's a fun feature. It's great to make things a game, make it social, recognition. I'm the mayor. But this doesn't need to be in every single product, and I don't think it alone makes you successful.
Right.
Just like the vote button on Dig, there was a Mixie or this one and that one. There's a zillion people, Netscape, who decided they would do vote up buttons. And it's not like they all were guaranteed success because they had a vote up button. And this is what people forget. Like, one feature doesn't make the service. It's the community. Yelp has a massive community of people that they meet with, and they have this Yelp elite status, which makes you community stuff.
Fanatical base.
I mean, UStream has a fanatical base of people who use it, who love it, who complain about things and bitch and moan, and they want this and they want that, and keep these guys up at night. Like, that's what you need, right?
Yep, it's great. It's healthy. I like it. Where could I get it? Because I'm always looking for restaurants and never know where to go.
Yeah.
So.
No, it does seem like a cool idea, and they're also actually talking about once there's augmented reality on your iPhone, you'll be able to just sort of hold up your phone and it'll show you, go a block this way, and it's this really good Greek place or whatever.
Here's a question from M. Boyle. I asked people before for a question. He says, let me put the tweet up here on the board so you guys can see it as well. Fail. Oops. Let me try one more time there. Come on, Twitter, you can do it. Okay, Twitter can't do it. God damn. I guess Twitter's down. Actually, I have it here. Sorry. M. Boyle says, does UStream have plans to get into set-top box markets like Netflix and other internet video stores? Hey, that would be very cool if I could turn on my Netflix box or my Xbox and watch This Week in Startups Live. What do you guys think?
There's a lot happening in that entire market, certainly we definitely want to be anywhere there's eyeballs. Helps us, helps our content creators.
Yep.
The TV makes a lot of sense. The set-top boxes make a lot of sense. But there's a lot going on. I mean, I must get an email from a set-top box manufacturer once a day or once a week. Yeah. So there are a lot of players. It's a very crowded space. It's going to be interesting how things evolve. And when you have limited resources, I can't be on every set-top box, right? Because they're all a little bit different. Yeah. They're all different protocols, and there's resolution issues, and live streaming typically is a little lower resolution than a HD video,
for a reason,
progressive on demand or progressive download video. So there's some challenges there, but ultimately, yeah, absolutely.
And would you also design this so that the set-top box had a webcam in it or had one installable into it, so if I put on UStream and I'm standing in front of my TV, I could actually UStream to my family video conferencing, basically.
Potentially,
like the original idea.
Yeah. I think, yes, that's a very interesting idea. I also think the interactivity is very important. I mean, we probably aren't as mindful about this in every moment, but your computer comes with a keyboard and a mouse, and so does your cell phone, but your TV doesn't. Right. So if you can interact and you can organize all that, and there's all the things you can do once you have that, is that valuable? Yeah.
Would somebody be able to make a set-top box themselves that booted Linux, and then the Linux browser into UStream with a webcam, and somebody could actually make that device pretty easily? Yeah, probably only costs like $100, $200.
Should be fairly easy. Yeah. But I mean, what interesting? One of these days, I certainly foresee a day when you're out of town high school football game. You can watch it on your TV as well,
right?
And not just today. You can watch it on YouTube, but you can also watch it on your TV. Which, unless they send a big production crew or spend a lot of money, you probably can't.
All right, so let's make sure that our boy M. Boyle gets himself a ticket to TechCrunch 50 if he so wants to come. He's an internet coder. He says here he's a code monkey. And I will follow him. I always like to follow fans of the show. Next story.
Well, actually, that dovetails perfectly into the next story, which is Media Center software company Boxy has secured a $6 million Series B financing round. It plans to use it to hire developers because the long-term goal is to move beyond desktop and into users' televisions and game consoles.
Right.
So currently it's only available Mac, Windows, Linux, and Apple TV, but you can't watch it on your TV unless you have an Apple TV.
Right. So do they have... Are they hardware or are they just software, Boxy?
No, it's a software platform, but I think they're trying to get into a connection to your television so you can watch Boxy programming.
So basically I just take my old computer and hook it up to my TV.
Essentially.
It's not I haven't set it up yet. I have Netflix On Demand, which is on my Samsung Blu-ray player.
Right.
I have DirecTV, and supposedly DirecTV now has On Demand. So we're upgrading the DirecTV box. You have to upgrade your box, right? You have a certain...
Yeah, you have to upgrade your box.
And you have to have an Ethernet on it, so I'm going to have that.
Yep.
I don't think I need any, and we watch Hulu, when we watch Hulu shows, we just get in bed and I pull out my laptop. We watch a Hulu show on the laptop. So
Right.
which I think a lot of people do.
Boxy and Hulu were sort of a war.
Yeah,
like,
so I don't know that
who
I
has
need
more
Boxy. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel bad about it, but I don't feel like I need it.
Which goes to the thought, which is how are they going to differentiate from a content perspective, right? To say, hey, you know, how are they going to, what exclusive content is on Boxy?
And
to drive
you
that
know,
sales.
DirecTV and Dishes and the cable guys of the world, they're well aware that they have to do some things to change, and I think boxing is ultimately going to be competing against those guys. And
That's a tough place to compete.
Well, the other thing about Boxy that I think is surprising is it has a built-in BitTorrent client, so they direct you to legal BitTorrent download places. But it's really easy to go in there and set it up to go to.
Yeah,
Pirate
but there was
Bay.
another open source service. I forgot what it was called, but there was an open source TV player that did this, and you can subscribe to RSS feed. So I did it on my desktop, and you could also put in BitTorrents and stuff like that. I mean, frankly, who cares about when you have something like Hulu? Why would you bother with a BitTorrent? Like, it's so slow and it's such a pain in the ass. Like, you can get everything on Hulu now.
No, I mean, there's a lot of content, especially new films that are coming out.
I'm not talking about films. I'm talking about TV shows for a second.
Oh, okay.
But
But even
can't
so,
you
like,
basically
there's a
get
lot
every
of
TV show, or no?
No, it's. I mean,
There's a lot, but-
it's slowly moving over, and there is a lot. I mean,
I feel
they add
like-
a lot every day, but there's still a lot of content
Between
out there.
Netflix On Demand,
like HBO shows, Showtime shows.
between Netflix On Demand, On Demand DirecTV, and Hulu, I don't know if there's any show I can't get, because Netflix has everything, and they have it on either on demand or on DVD. So
I mean, Mad Men. I don't think you can watch Mad Men on any of those services right now.
really, but you can rent the DVDs on Netflix.
You could rent the DVDs, yeah.
So that's sort of my point. Is like it feels like the just as predicted, the BitTorrent thing is going to go away for almost everybody except for kids at college who don't even have a cable connection or whatever, and then people in China who don't have access to these shows, or in Europe who want to watch it a season before. It's just like it's too much trouble. And when you make when you make it easy to get the stuff, even at a reasonable price, people are going to do that. I mean, who has the time? I don't know. When you get older, it's just you don't have the time to f around.
That's why I do it here. I got it on my
Please don't do that.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would never do that.
This is a message for young people of the world. Can somebody clip this? And this is a message from CEOs to young, stupid people of the world. You ready? When you are at work, do not do things that are illegal. That's the end of the message. No, but I mean, you guys have this happen at work yet? Like somebody at work is downloading stuff on BitTorrent, and like you find out, and you have to tell them, like, by the way, you're at work. We're paying you. Please don't do illegal stuff.
We haven't had that particular issue come up yet.
You know, if you have WebSpy, you don't have to worry about that issue because you can block the BitTorrent in your office. There's a little plug for Avatar. Yes. Yes.
Should we do the Deadpool?
Oh, is it Deadpool time? Let Fawn do it.
All right, let's do the Deadpool.
Deadpool time. Where are the dogs? The dogs are here today.
I love these dogs.
Who's
Oh,
here?
they're fantastic.
Fondue here's my girl. And Taurus too. Everybody sees the bullies. Okay, we got bulldogs. All right. Deadpool time.
Deadpool time. Today's Deadpool company is Bubble Share.
Who?
It is called Bubble Share.
Who?
Canadian photo sharing site Bubble Share.
Give me that.
They announced that it will shut down in November of 2009. They're giving
wants
everybody the chance to
Who wants to get
download
Bubble Share? Who
all
wants
the
to get-
photos they had saved on
Who's gonna get
there
Bubble Share?
to their hard drive. Though the tech
Oh,
blogs
that's
and early
fantastic.
adopters, they had praised the site's fun.
Put it in there.
easy
Put it
to
in
use
Deadpool.
interface.
Put it in Deadpool. Good boy. Right in the Deadpool. Good boy. Put Bubble Share in the Deadpool. Find you. Put it in the Deadpool. Oh.
Stomping all over the dead previous.
All right.
Oh, Bix, poor Bix.
Let me
Poor
explain
Bix.
two things to you. Number one, there has never been a successful Canadian internet company.
No, that can't be true.
There is no successful Canadian internet company.
There must have been one.
Okay, name me the one. Somebody tell me a successful Canadian internet company.
I don't know one.
I'm
but
asking
sure
everybody in the chat room or on Twitter. I defy anybody to tell me
Come on,
one successful Canadian
Canucks.
internet company.
Defend your honor.
There's nothing. I'm telling you, zero.
Gotta be.
Plenty of fish. Okay, I stand corrected.
There you go.
Canoe.ca. 2 cows. 2 cows and Plenty of Fish would be successful. I had no idea Plenty of Fish was out of
Plenty
Canada.
of fish. There you go.
There you go. So you use Plenty of Fish?
I don't, but I'm sure it's successful.
Who do you use for your dating needs, Lon?
My online dating needs.
Yeah, who do you use? eHarmony?
What was that one we looked at a few weeks ago? The black box one for sex positive alternate lifestyles. That's
Too much information, overshare. No, okay. I'm sorry to my fans from Canada. We love Canada.
No, we love Canada.
But everybody understands you can't build a successful company in Canada or Florida, for that matter. No offense to people in Florida.
Florida, I believe.
Well, are they still eating that?
They
Can we
are-
get the camera on that? I mean,
That's
this is
fun.
they really
Priceless.
understand the Deadpool. I mean, it's unbelievable. Taurus is literally destroying this poor company. No, why? This was oh my God!
Look at that. That's great.
That's good.
I love that.
Good puppies.
Oh man.
I need to make
Priceless.
I need to make a 24-hour
Puppy
bulldog
cam, yeah.
cam.
Bulldog Cam.
They are having a good time in there.
You'll be on
Eat
the
plastic.
homepage.
Very
That'll
good.
go viral.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get a sponsor for the Deadpool and for the Bulldogs coming in here? Can we get Purina or something, please? Everything must be sponsored.
So yeah, they had an easy to use interface. They had a zoom feature, which is kind of cool. You can't do it.
You can zoom in on the photos?
You can zoom in on photos.
Wow, that's amazing.
But
I would
traffic
never
has
use
just been
that.
trending downward
Yeah.
throughout 2009. They'd actually been purchased. They started in 2005 and then sold to Caboose Inc. in 2007, and now they're
Well,
Now
if you
Deadpool.
sell to Caboose, you know it's not going to end well.
well
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Nice, like it.
Anyway, but I mean, photo sharing site, does anybody care? I mean,
It seems like
AOL shut down their photo sharing site. I mean, if that was any indication, the fact that AOL couldn't make a photo sharing site work just shows how
I
amazing.
just thought it was interesting. It
Flickr.
sold in 2007. It's not like Flickr was this
To Caboose.
unknown.
To Caboose. I mean,
It's not like at
anybody
that
who
point-
names their company Caboose, what do they know? What does the person who names their company Caboose know? What does Caboose do? Can somebody tell me what Caboose does? That's
I don't know-
ridiculous.
I don't know what Caboose does.
Exactly.
I didn't do
I mean,
enough research.
generally speaking, when you sell your company, sell it to somebody if you know that you would actually know what the company does. Not advisable otherwise. Okay, so I feel terrible about it.
There you go.
We couldn't come up with something better for Deadpool than a company
That was
nobody
the
knows?
only one that really
Only
went
one that
under
died.
this
All
week.
right, there's
Like,
no-
I got to come up with like a good company. That
Maybe
went
the
under. It's
economy's
just enough
turning
that they
around.
went
The
under.
economy's finally turning around.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that was the only one that I saw this week. If the audience has better ideas, I'd love
All
to
right.
hear them.
No, the audience says
Economy.
nothing.
I couldn't find any others this week. We'll talk Bing. The search engine's
Bada bing, go!
Bing Shopping Index is now the nation's 4th most popular shopping comparison site, compared to last month when it was in 8th place.
Wow.
Overall,
Bada
visits
bing.
to Bing Shopping are up 169%.
Shopping.bing.com.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Shopzilla and BizRate both lost around 2 to 5% of their traffic, possibly as a result. So what do you think they can do if you're Shopzilla or you're BizRate? Microsoft's got this massive marketing juggernaut. I've seen commercials for Bing Shopping on
Right.
PC. What do you do? How do you respond?
I don't think there's much you're going to do. I mean, Bing is basically got momentum. They're going to climb up the rankings. I don't think it matters either. I don't think them going to 4 means that numbers 5, 6, and 7, all of a sudden their businesses are crushed. I mean, what we're seeing here is that Microsoft is finally doing something innovative with search. They're finally actually trying things. I mean, this is the crazy part about it. Like, nobody's trying anything except for maybe, I don't know, Hackia, Blacko, Mahalo. I mean, there's not that many people trying to do something new in search. Very few people are trying to do something new in search. Microsoft is now actually trying to do something new. If you want to innovate, doing something new is helpful. I mean, it's sort of what innovation is, right? Trying something new. So, it's not inconceivable that Bing will have many of their services, image search, video search, all do very well because Microsoft has now got it in their head, and it happened when the PowerSet company got bought, that they're allowed to innovate in search. They don't have to just photocopy Google. And now it's like, I think Google's got a real weak spot now, which is everybody can innovate, and they're not scared of innovating anymore. And if they make the experience less advertising friendly on Bing, but better for consumers, who cares? If they do that on Google, Google stock will plummet. I mean, if Google were to lower the number of ads or increase the amount of content so less ads got clicked on, they would be screwed. I mean, the whole guys, take
They're
it easy
really
on it.
chewing up the Deadpool.
I think they got Lakia.
I love it.
They're struggling. So anyway, I think good on Bing. Microsoft is doing an awesome job. I actually ordered two Zunes. I ordered one for Kevin Pollak as well. The Zune HD is gorgeous. I mean, have you seen this thing?
I have not.
I just ordered two. I told Crew to order two, pre-order two blind. Actually, I saw Steve Ballmer was holding it at the D conference. It looks gorgeous.
They look sweet. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So I think Microsoft's going to have a renaissance because their thinking has switched. They're innovating again. That's always a good thing for a startup company to do, or for a big company to do. Start thinking like a startup.
Right.
What do you guys think? Bing, you like it? I tried it.
You know,
Yeah.
I've seen it everywhere. I mean, obviously they're spending a lot of money, and I've tried it, and you know, it seems nice and clean and elegant, and you know, so we'll see. I like it.
Cool. All right, next story.
Radiohead frontman Tom York this week announced the band is not going to release any more studio albums. They're going to focus only on downloadable internet singles. So obviously this is easy for a band, or easier for a band that's established like
Sure.
Radiohead. So do you think this means the album is on its way out, or is it just now really huge bands have sort of the luxury of stopping to sort of propagate this?
The album's been out as far as consumers care for a long time. I mean, people are buying one track at a time on iTunes. So, I mean, it's basically the band is catching up to the user behavior, not that the band is leading it. I mean, people don't buy albums. They just they do one-offs, and then maybe they like the band, they'll go buy other ones. So it's in some ways it's sad that there's not going to be this sort of like but then again, we don't have sides of an album. There used to be a whole thing like which was the better side of the album, like the White Album, side A, side B, Blood on the Tracks. Did you like side A, side B? It's like little nuances of the format that are going to go away, but I mean, it's congratulations, Radiohead. You're going to make music the way your consumers want to buy it. I would like to have a subscription to Bob Dylan where he just releases a song a week, or 2 songs one week, or 3 songs the next week. Why can't I just subscribe to an artist for, I would pay $2 a week to get 1 song from my favorite artists. $2, that's $100 a year. That's more than going to make off an album every 2 years. So actually, this is a great model. Radiohead do this. $1 per week. You buy it for 2 years at a time for $100, and you include 1 concert ticket with it. So you get 1 seat at the concert, or I don't know, whatever.
It's hard to do.
All right, well, okay. You get first shot at the tickets.
Right.
You get a half-price ticket if you choose to buy it. So tickets to Radiohead are $100. If you are a subscriber to Radiohead, you get it for $50.
But is this an issue for, like, if I'm, like, Radiohead obviously has millions of fans already. So they're going to get people who are going to subscribe to them. But what if I'm, like, sort of, I'm from Portland and I'm trying to build an audience?
That's how people are doing it currently. I mean, people go to YouTube and start consuming something. They get 1 track on YouTube. And, I mean, that's actually the big thing. Hold on a second. Tyler has an insight. Hold on. Stop the show. Tyler has an insight.
Insights from Thailand.
Cut.
All right.
Oh, that was good.
Good. We're getting it.
The reason Radiohead is actually the first to be able to do this is actually quite interesting, because when artists sign deals to get record deals with labels, the deal is structured in albums.
Right.
It's how many albums you're providing the record label. So you have to do records.
Yes.
The artists have known for a long time the consumer wants it as singles. They don't have a choice. They have to make
Right, they make albums because records are what
because the
get
labels
shipped.
say, you have to give us a record. You don't really have any choice in the matter. Radiohead's out of their deal. They're independent, so they can do what they know what the consumer wants.
Well, what about my idea to subscribe?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And they'll probably do that.
I mean, that would be brilliant. I mean, can you imagine what's your favorite band?
I like Dave Matthews. I mean,
Right,
he just pump out a song a week.
Would you pay $1 a week, $50 a year, to get a Dave Matthews song emailed to you every week with a little message from the band? Like they write up something personal and you just get it, boom. And when you get it, you hit play and it gets added to your iTunes or whatever you use.
Probably
Right
would,
to my
yeah.
iPhone.
Would you pay? Okay, so you're saying probably for $50. If it was $20, would you do it?
For sure.
For sure. Okay, so $20 means they get, I don't know, how many people bought their last album? 500,000? So for $20, you get
more than that.
a couple million?
Well, they had a flexible price on it. So
All right, well, anyway, just let's say they sold 1 million albums. Instead of selling 1 million albums, getting $20 for a subscription is $20 million a year in pure profit. I mean, that is insane. And you can just email it to people, and they'll do it by email for the convenience of getting it, as opposed to having their friends forward it to them, whatever. Yep. Just the convenience of being on the list and getting emails from Radiohead or Bob Dylan or wherever it is you care about. And they could be old tracks. It could be 3 versions of the same song with a different verse. It could be an acoustic one week and the electric the next week and the reggae version the third week. I mean, you have a lot of fun with it. And you can do a live show, over the summer when those guys are on vacation. It could just be 8 weeks, 8, live tracks. And people would be stoked. I'd be stoked. Wake up, music industry. Who cares? Anyway. We should do homework.
Okay.
Let's see the homework. Here we go. It's a homework graphic. Very nice.
It's nice.
And we don't have any homework from the previous week, but I think we have a special announcement, don't we?
Like we always do.
Guys.
Oh.
Here we go. Now I got a special announcement. love that music. You got to make it like 5 times. Da-da-da-da. Can we extend that? Da-da-da-da. All right, special announcement.
Do tell.
People have been asking. We had a phone call today at 11 a.m. with Audible.
Ah, yes.
And Audible _com on Twitter has agreed to sponsor This Week in Startups.
No way.
Absolutely. And they are going to sponsor the homework every week. And this is amazing. So everybody should thank Audible for coming into the show. We're good friends with everybody at Audible. Everybody knows I do my Audible dance. Audible _com. So everybody thank on Twitter right now. Thank you, Audible _com for sponsoring This Week in Startups, Pound Twist. Everybody do that. And what is our... somebody suggested an Audible audio book that we will listen to over the next week and talk about in 2 weeks on This Week in Startups. What's the homework assignment? I think it was the Accidental Billionaires. Oh, I thought I retweeted it. Accidental Billionaires.
The Facebook.
The Facebook book is available, I understand, on Audible. So let's all go to Audible. Do I have a special URL to give people for Audible? Wasn't there?
audiblepodcast.com/twist.
audiblepodcast.com/twist?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just see if that works. Audible Podcast. Okay, there you go. So everybody go to audiblepodcast.com/TWIST and you can start your free trial today. 14-day free trial, the Audible Listener Gold Package, which is like a free audiobook of your choice, 60,000 audiobooks, compatible with the iPod and a lot of other devices. It's amazing. Trust me, just get it. Audiobooks are awesome. When you're on the plane, when you're on the train, when you're in your car, when you're too tired from a day of staring at your screen and you just want to mellow out on the couch and drink a hot cup of tea and listen to a good audiobook, when you're got $2,000 or $3,000 behind at the poker table like me and you're trying to get back to even, you put one of these things on, it calms you down, get you focused. There's a zillion good books to listen to on Audible.
For commuters, it's really, I listen to books in my car, and it's amazing. It makes the ride go so much faster.
Right. And so if you guys pull up the Accidental Billionaire in there, you might be able to play a clip from it. And this is the book that they're making a movie out of, correct?
Yes, Aaron Sorkin wrote the script. They were thinking about David Fincher, I think we were talking about.
The Accidental Billionaires, the founding of Facebook. Now, we should listen to this book for a couple reasons. Huh. Number one, it's about our industry, and the fact that anybody writes about our boring industry is incredible. Number two, well, it's kind of, I mean, to make to do a whole movie about an internet company.
Like the Facebook story doesn't strike me as one that's so gripping, but who knows? Maybe they got some great dirt.
Anyway, this is the book, The Accidental Billionaires. I've got it on my screen. These guys will play a clip from it. Let's listen to a clip and put it up on the screen.
Who reads it?
This was a terrifying place, especially for a kid like Eduardo. He hadn't grown up poor. He'd spent most of his childhood being shuttled between upper-middle-class communities in Brazil and Miami before matriculating at Harvard. But he was a complete stranger to the sort of old-world opulence this room represented. Even through the booze, Eduardo could feel the insecurities rumbling deep down in the pit of his stomach. He felt like a freshman all over again, stepping into Harvard Yard for the first time, wondering what the hell he was doing there, wondering how he could possibly belong in a place like that. How could he possibly belong in a place like this? He shifted against the sill, scanning the crowd of young men.
All right, so everybody, thank Audible. Everybody go order Audible. Audible Podcasts. Is it plural? Audible Podcasts? Or podcast?
I think it was singular. Audible Podcast.
Audible Podcast/twist. Go sign up. Do your homework every week. We'll talk about it in 2 Fridays. Thank you to Audible for sponsoring the show. Very cool. We love the Audible. Do we have a closing news story here?
I got 2 more. One is really more of a question.
Okay.
The news this week was that TechCrunch 50, Penn and Teller, going to launch a new consumer tech product at the conference.
And that is true. Penn and Teller.
The actual content, what it's going to be, no one knows. They have not revealed. Can you give us a hint? Can you give us a clue?
I know what it is. It's awesome. It's going to be outstanding. I don't know if it'll be better than what Ashton Kutcher did last year, but it's going to be awesome. And I think there are a couple of other major celebrities coming.
Really?
Yes. I can't say anything now, but Let's just say the A-list will be in the house again.
Nice.
I'm not saying that Penn and Teller is an A-list. Of course they are. They do the TV show Bull
BS.
BS. Thank you. You watch that show?
I do. It's a great show.
I love that show.
I'm a big fan.
You guys watch that show on Showtime?
No,
TV the show Bull.
We'll watch it.
The
It's pretty
bottled
good.
water one really blew me away. I did not know all the stuff that was in there about the bottled water.
Well, it's like
How it's like just Riverside tap water that they're putting, and they
Of course.
just filter it and put it in bottles.
you have to buy a filter for your house.
If it doesn't say spring water, that's what they say in the show.
Yeah.
If it says spring water, they're actually getting it from somewhere. If it doesn't, if it just says like purified water or
Yeah.
drinking
It's a
water,
disaster.
it's just
City
tap water
water.
from Riverside.
Oh,
Like
wow.
they show it on the show, it's just this big bottle and they take the water in. It's
Yep.
the same water they use when they make Coke. They just don't put any syrup in it.
The thing is, the only water that is actually tested. Do you know what the only water that's actually tested?
Tap water.
Thank you, Alex. It's tap water. The only water that's actually, because federally they have to
Right.
do tap water. That's it.
But spring water, you can taste. It tastes clean.
Yeah, I mean, if you're having Fiji water or
Yeah.
Evian, you know it's from a specific
tell
place,
that
and you
it-
can tell.
yeah.
Evian, to me, tastes a little bit like they put rocks in the bottom. I kind of like it in some ways. The Pellegrino tastes like there's some pebbles
Yeah.
at the bottom. Like it's very minerally. I like that
Right,
taste
yeah,
sometimes.
because it's actually coming from deep within the earth.
Remember, I
as opposed
put
to
the.
Riverside.
Everybody thought I was being cheap here because I put the water filter on the thing and stopped getting delivered water.
We would never say that.
And I told everybody that water being delivered from those, I don't know if it was
Sparklets, I believe.
Sparklets or whatever. Somebody did research. I don't want to speak out of school and get some liability thing going. I'm not saying Sparklets is bad water or whatever.
Very tasty.
No, but whatever the water was we used, I don't know if it was Sparklets or not. It was from a tap an hour east of here, so it's the same as drinking the tap water here in Santa Monica. The filter we got, it's huge. The filters are like this, and there's two of them, so it double filters it. And those things get changed like clockwork every 30 days. I got the same thing at my house, the same thing my wife and I and my dogs drink. You have to have a great water filter. That is the only way to get great water, and you have to filter your ice too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to filter your ice. So we have an ice machine here, it's filtered. The coffee machine water going in is double filtered because the Jura has a filter in that machine that we change. So we put filtered water and filtered water. If you want to make great coffee,
Yeah, it's all about the.
it's all about the quality of the water. Great coffee is determined by the water. You want to have double filtered for great coffee. That's the way I
Now,
feel.
does the benefit taste, or do you also think it's, you feel better? Or
I think the body's resilient enough to drink tap water and be just fine.
Yeah.
To be totally honest. You guys were in theater.
yeah,
And I don't know what kind of water you drink, but you guys look like.
they say it's purified, but hey, it's brown.
If you ever get in a bar fight, these are the guys you want with you. Because these guys, they're not like looking for a fight or something, but if something happens,
think
these
they
guys
throw
will kick
down?
ass.
We got your
Absolutely.
back, man.
They got your back. All right, how about this? Do you think that they put like, I had a friend who was a ranger and he was like, I think they're putting stuff in our food to make us more, like, are they putting stuff in the food? Like,
They would,
Highly
yeah,
likely.
they wouldn't do that.
Who? Who's they?
no, they just said like these little guys who were skinny who came into the military and they
Oh,
would
and
be
they
eating
took
like
out,
all this food and it's like,
Like
they thought
growth hormone or something?
something like some extra protein powder or something. They didn't really know what they were eating, but just everybody got like really big and like.
It's probably a
you
physical
work out.
training.
Yeah,
You work out a lot?
yeah. Exercising all day.
He thought there was
That's
something
right.
in it. His theory was they were giving him something to make him a little bit
Ranger,
more.
There's a guy yelling at you behind your head for like 14 hours a day. Like that's gonna move.
Rangers are cool, right?
Rangers are hardcore. A lot of respect for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Army
Absolutely.
Ranger or Texas Ranger?
I think that's a baseball team. Army
Well,
Rangers.
and
Or the
Walker.
police force. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that when they went into Iraq, that it was sad. Like the firefights that they would get into, these guys had like 30-year-old guns that couldn't even like fire, and they would come out with a 50 caliber and just cut a building in half. Literally, the building go doof, doof, and guys would be all behind a wall. They just cut them all in half. Said it was crazy. They
You're
just
talking about Hurt Locker. There's some of that in the movie.
guys were. But then I guess when it gets to the point where you're doing this guerrilla fighting and putting bombs to the side of the road, they get a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just.
It's definitely one-sided. Like the Apache attack helicopter can hit a target, I want to say like miles away. That person, the target's not going to know that.
Didn't even know where they got it
he's
from.
lased, or he's being targeted. Exactly.
I saw some of those videos where like they have them on the heat seeking and then and then like you just see the heat go like a paintball thing.
Yeah.
War is bad. War is bad. Anything else? Final news story.
I got one more. Cheddar Getter, new startup. It wants to handle other startups' payments. So you sign up for them. Basically, all of the credit card payments, everything, they automate everything coming in and out of your site.
Cheddar Getter.
There it is.
The plug-in subscription management billing system.
Right. So you basically, your startup signs up, you pay them a monthly fee, no sign-up charge, and then they handle all of your payments for you. And they have analytics built in, so you can go in and break it down and follow it and keep track however you want.
So, wait a second. If we wanted to pay Mahalo dollars through them, or if we wanted to bill our customers,
I think if you wanted to pay out Mahalo dollars would be how it would work. You would set them up with your system, and here's how we, here's our monthly Mahalo dollar payments, and here's how we structure them. And then it starts at $39 a month, but that's a small site. Once you get up to multiple thousand users,
billing customers automatically, they do.
Yes, right.
That's a very good idea. It's sort of like an enhanced version of PayPal.
Right, that's exactly. It's like PayPal for your startup instead of for an individual.
And if you don't want to get like a merchant account or something like that, you don't have to go through the whole merchant account process. They do it for you.
And I think for a small, like a company that's just starting, you don't have to have a dedicated person on your team that just worries about this all day, which obviously if there's a lot of payments being processed, you would have to sort of devote a lot of human resources.
Pricing looks pretty good too. It's like
an advanced package is $169 per month for up to 10,000 customers, and it keeps going up from there. But that's
great. And you get to pay like $6 for additional 6 cents for an additional customer. It's a pretty good idea. I like those guys.
That's great.
Hopefully it works. Where'd you read about that? TechCrunch?
I think that was Read Write Web.
Read Write Web.
Actually,
Read Write Web.
Read Write Web.
Read Write Web. They have to change the name of that site.
RWW.
RWW. Read Write Web. All right.
I started Tech Meme, then I go to like Mashable, TechCrunch, Read Write Web.
TechCrunch.
That's basically the news.
Okay, so in closing, let's thank our sponsors: UStream, WebSpy, DNA Mail, at DNA Mail, at UStream, at WebSpy, and now at Audible_COM. We got to try to get them Audible. Twitter.com/Audible. They would really be better if they had that, but they're Audible.
You just got to get that underscore. That's the trick.
Yes, that's right. And everybody thank them. We'll take one more member of the audience. Everybody in the audience should thank the sponsors and rate the show on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the greatest show in the history of podcasting. 9 being last week's show, which is pretty good. Most people said last week's show was a 9. It
was pretty good.
High watermark. This was a great show, too. Especially the calls, and you guys were great in the calls. Good guests. So everybody rate the show and thank the sponsors in the same tweet, and we'll pick somebody from that. Oh my God, look at that! 27 big boom! Nice. Oh man, it is crazy. There's a lot of. Okay, so everybody's thanking everybody. Everybody's rating the show. Actually, these are all people thanking. They all must have had that queued up. Look at all the people thanking Audible. That's going to make Audible very happy. I think Scott Simcoe won last week, didn't he?
Scott Simcoe is the guy behind
the pilot.
This Week in Startups.
Right, he's going already. So he gave it a 9. He liked the unfiltered feel. Brad and John were great. There you go. So we'll pick somebody. Thanks to Brad and John for coming on the show. Did you have a good time?
Fantastic. Absolutely, great time.
Awesome. Continued success.
Thank you.
And Chrysil just got his wisdom teeth out. That sucks. And he got a 9.5. And he thanked all the sponsors. So let's give Chrysil the ticket.
Chris Zeal.
Chris Zeal, you're coming to TechCrunch 50 on September 14th and 15th. We've got 20 of the 50 TechCrunch 50 companies. Well, I shouldn't say that. But anyway, we're picking the 50 now. This is a better class than last year, and last year's class was amazing. But it's actually even better this year. Tyler, you've been doing some of the interviews with me.
Yes. It's a third
pretty
class?
amazing, huh?
It's the third year, yes.
Third year, yes. 40, 50, 50. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, and it's just amazing, like really good. And I thought because the economy was down, like we have a problem with sponsors maybe, or ticket sales. Ticket sales are greater, sponsor sales are the same, and the number of companies applying is the same, over 1,000. It's just awesome.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a great turnout.
I mean, can you imagine during this financial apocalypse, it's like the show goes on. The show must go on.
That's great.
Look at this, 9, 9, 10, 9, 8, 10. This is the highest rated show ever. Congratulations, guys. You guys brought it. I'll be honest, I was a little concerned about today's show, not because of either of you, because 2 guys. Now, are you guys both CEO? Or I know you're co-founders, but what are the titles?
So, CEO and president.
Okay, CEO and president. Yeah. And but it's basically the same thing. When you guys have a decision, you make it together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah, we're very close.
All right, there you go. I was going to ask, why did you get the president? But I'm not going to bring that up.
Why does it start problems?
I'm not starting any problems.
We arm wrestle. He's stronger than us.
I had the same exact thing happen at Weblogs Inc. with Brian Alfie, and we came to a conclusion we own the same amount of stock in the company. Doesn't make a difference. Better for him to be CTO, better for me to CEO because I was more public facing, whatever. And then he was like, let's be co-CEOs. And I was like, let me tell you something about that co-CEO thing. Anybody who's an investor, they see co-CEO, they run for the frickin' hills because they think, oh, two-headed snake. Everybody in the company is going to be going like to one person when they want one answer, one the other. It just makes you look unprofessional with the co-CEO thing, I think. And he agreed with me. So I got the CEO. No, I mean, I wouldn't. It just doesn't make sense to have co-CEO titles. He did the right thing. Like, just pick a title. You guys are both on the board. You both own a fucking
Look at your skill. We have different skill sets. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty part about it.
So you do a lot of the operation stuff, and you do a lot of the corporate stuff. Is that how it breaks down, or vice versa?
It kind of like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So you keep everybody in line, you make sure everything gets done, and then you're out there meeting with the VCs and public-facing stuff, and going to all the speaking gigs.
We do a lot of that public-facing stuff together.
Yeah, I know you do. Because actually, I thought you were the CEO. I didn't realize the difference because I've talked to you more and emailed you more. All right, so thank you to everybody. Thanks to Lon. Great job on the news, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you to Alex for putting the show together. Alex, you're doing a great job. How many months you been here, Alex? 4 months, huh? 4 long months. All right, I'll give you a review after TechCrunch 50. We'll see how you do at TechCrunch 50. That'll be the real test. I was going to keep him, something to strive for.
On toes.
Exactly. Tyler, how is he doing?
We'll see if the Wi-Fi works at TechCrunch.
Yeah, that's basically it,
Make a
Alex.
break right there.
Thank you for that. Alex, you'll see if you get a raise or not if the Wi-Fi works. He's panicking right now. Panicking. It's like 5... I know, 75 large. Killing me with that pricing. Can you imagine $75,000 to put
Wi-Fi for
2 days?
Wow.
75. I got to spend
that is pricey.
40 grand for almost 8 high societies.
I'd love to see those margins on that. It's an interesting.
Got to be a 50% margin business, and these guys got me over a barrel. $75,000 is it's ridiculous. Can these guys do it for 40?
Apple spends $400,000.
Do I look like Steve Jobs? You see a G5 parked outside? How about you fight for my side, Alex, instead of fighting for their side? You're supposed to be negotiating on my behalf, not on their behalf. That sounds like what they would tell me. You're supposed to be fighting for me. Didn't you hate that when your employees do that? You know what I'm talking about? This is like, let me tell you something.
I know what you're talking about.
This is a employee-employer thing. If you work for somebody, never argue the side of the vendor to your boss. That makes people crazy. When you're like, tell them to pay us, to bill us 20% less, and tell them we want a refund on that. And then you're like, well, they have overhead, and you're like, yes, we have overhead too. Your salary, your health benefits, the cut fruit, all this other stuff. Like, fight for us to get a better deal. So always fight for your boss to get a better deal. And this is a more piece of advice. Somebody cut this for the show. Advice for people first time at their job. 2 pieces of very important advice. Number 1, always fight for your boss and for your company, not the other side. It just comes off the wrong way when you're arguing the enemies or the partner's side of it. You're supposed to be arguing our side of it and how to save us money and get us a better deal. Number 2, never leave the office without going and saying goodbye to your boss. You always go to your boss and say, hey, boss, I'm taking off for the night, for the day, whatever. Anything I can help, or you need any help with anything, because I'm going to take off. Just want to make sure everything's cool.
Absolutely.
I always did that. Every job I've had, I went to my boss. Number 1, I never left.
Courtesy.
Courtesy.
We don't leave before the boss.
What is that rule? Never leave.
You just said, don't leave before your boss.
Well, that's my number 1 rule. But I know people, young people, are such screw-ups today. I know I sound like an old guy, but young people. I mean, you're an exception. I think.
Not that young.
Whatever. I mean, people of your generation, people under 30 years. You're under 30, right?
I am 30.
You're 30. Okay, so 30 and under. Let me explain to you something about dedication and loyalty, something that Army guys know and Marines know. It's just like implicit. You have to bust ass and you have to, fight to the death for your boss and your company. And it doesn't feel like this young generation, this massive sense of entitlement, has this idea that that's what they're supposed to do. Never leave work before if you want to be successful in life, do not leave your office before your boss unless your mom died or your grandma died. And even in that case, go to your boss and say, you know what? My grandma's dead. She got hit by a bus. Is it okay if I leave to go to the hospital? I mean, I know we got a lot going on. I'll stay and I'll see grandma at the funeral if necessary. But is it okay if I go? You should not leave before your boss. I never left before my boss. My boss has always loved me and promoted me like ridiculously. And I always, if I did maybe have to leave before my boss for something urgent. I come up and say, hey boss, I gotta go, I got a thing, really sorry, but you need anything? Because I'm gonna take off. I hate these people who like sneak out the side door and like don't say goodbye. I mean, it just sends the wrong message. Everybody understands you might have to go. Nobody's gonna begrudge you going to your yoga class or whatever you're doing. That's less important than work.
It's yoga and spin.
Yeah, do your yoga and I can see that line.
Call it Yaz.
Always ask your boss, is there anything I can do? I mean, am I right, guys, or am I out of line?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We have a really good team at UStream.
Yes.
That's a non-issue. Brad and I are really lucky.
So they're out there. The good people are out there. You just
I know,
gotta
but even good
find.
people, I find, like, even sometimes good people do stupid things. Like, they just don't understand, like, the proper way to make your boss feel that you care about. You know, like, it's just like little technique things that I wish I could do a course.
Like life lessons.
Life lessons.
Business
I wish
life lessons.
I'm gonna make like a checklist for people, like, on the occasion of your first job. Like, here are the things you don't do. Don't tell your boss that you're smoking weed. That is not a good thing to do.
That's a bad thing. Yes.
No, somebody did that. Literally told me that people were going to smoke pot, and I was like, what?
Really?
Who told you that?
Wow.
I don't want to bring it. I'll talk to you after the show. I'll tell you after the show. Somebody told me after work, when we were going out for drinks one time, I said, where are these people? They were just with us. I think they went to smoke some weed.
Really?
And I was like, do you realize, I took the person aside, I said, I know that it's like legal in California to smoke weed if you got the thing or whatever, or whatever it is.
Unless he had glaucoma.
Whatever. I mean, I'm not. What am I'm going to sit here and argue with somebody because they have anxiety and they use weed instead of taking some pharmaceutical drug? Honestly, I don't care. If you smoke weed or eat a cookie or whatever and it makes you a better code, or I'd rather you don't do it during work. But I mean, people take anxiety pills during work. If that makes them code better, whatever. However, you don't tell your boss on the way to an outing that people are, I mean, first of all, you're ratting out your coworkers. Number two, which is not cool. Number two, you have to respect me as a boss and understand that if I know there's drug abuse going on, I have to fire the person.
Yep.
I mean, knucklehead, hello. I mean, but I think the problem is people think weed is alcohol now and it's just nothing to be ashamed of or whatever.
Make this a segment of the show. I like it. I mean,
just how to behave at work.
To do at work. Yeah, exactly.
You guys ever have anybody do anything stupid, like in this company or previous companies? Like, you're just like, I can't believe a young person did what?
Of course.
Think of one. How about this one? This is another one. Somebody said to me, oh, I'm leaving the company. I was like, oh, wow, I'm really sorry that you're going, whatever, da, da, da. And, so when's your last day? Friday. I'm like, today's Wednesday. They're like, yeah, they want me to start Monday. I'm like, really? You're going to leave the company for after 2 years here, stock options and everything, with 2 days' notice.
Yeah.
And your excuse is the company you're going to needs you to start Monday? What about the company that's been paying you for the last 2 years and been loyal to you, and you learned everything you learned to get that other job from that company? And let me give you one piece of advice, people at home. Any company that makes you screw your previous employer is not worth going to work for. Anybody comes to me and says, I can't start for 3 weeks because I got a thing from my company, I can't leave them in the lurch. You know what I say? Good. I like that. You're loyal to your boss. Then that means you're not going to do it to me. You send the wrong impression, the last impression out the door, it's going to follow you. You're going to look bad. Don't do that. 2 weeks is the minimum. You should offer 3 or 4 weeks. You should say, I would like to finish in 2 weeks. If I can't, and you need me for 3, I understand.
Oh, is that how it sort of, I always thought of 2 weeks as like industry standard.
2 weeks is the bare minimum. That is the minimum.
Oh, okay.
But why wouldn't you offer your boss the 3rd week out of respect? Mm-hmm. You're a boss now. You got people working for you.
I have one.
Okay, let me
We actually
on
had
your
somebody
first.
starting on Monday.
I know.
We gave 2 weeks. We needed 2 weeks.
Which is fine. What are you gonna get upset about that?
No, I said great.
Perfect.
See you in 2 weeks.
Right.
On your first day of your job, if you're in a company meeting, strategy session, or weekly, don't talk and bring
like
up
that
like
one.
you're smart or like you have some great idea. On your first day, don't talk too much.
Yeah.
And probably in your first 30 days, learn, analyze them. 15 days at least.
We had somebody like
before,
that. Yeah.
You don't have all the answers.
We've had a couple of those people.
That's one that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's just listening. People aren't good with the, just sit and sort of take it all in and process.
If you go to
then you'll come up with your
let's say you
idea.
get invited to a dinner party. It's a book club or a dinner party. It occurs every week. Been occurring for 3 years. And you go for the first time. What do? You You just lay back and like, what's the vibe here?
Exactly.
He does that. Oh, let me tell you what I did at work today. And oh, anybody want to buy some Avon? You know, like that's a great one. I mean, that is a good rule. We need to get a top 10 list of top 10 things to not look like an ass in your new job.
Also applying for jobs, because now that I'm looking through resumes, there's a lot of people who just lack the like what to send in that first email and how to introduce yourself. And
how about when it
really
says
need training on that?
Let me explain something to you. If it says send a cover letter and your resume, and you send just your resume, what a guy like me does is hits the delete key. I will not even consider it if you cannot understand that I need a cover letter, and I write cover letter and resume. And sometimes I write cover letter with the following in it. If you don't answer those questions, what the hell kind of job are you going to do when you get here?
Yeah. I'll delete those too. I'll admit
and
that.
it's just
right. You delete them or?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
No cover letter deleted.
I've gotten a lot of resumes over the last few weeks with no cover letter.
Delete.
Like, you're not giving me a compelling reason to open this email.
The first 5 minutes of like your initial phone interview are the most critical. I can within the first 5 minutes. I mean, maybe this is right or wrong, but I kind of get a sense of what I think about this person in the first 5 minutes.
It's classic Blink, like Malcolm Gladwell's book. You know, like we'll do that as a homework assignment at some point on Audible. But I mean, yeah, just
that's real. Because this is the first time I've really dug in and done a whole sort of hiring process myself.
Right.
And just seeing, I'm shocked. I'm literally shocked at the quality of the resumes and the cover letters and the care, the lack thereof that people are putting in.
Well, how about this? I mean, obviously spelling errors on your resume,
spelling,
it's like whatever.
Grammar,
but what does it cost you to have somebody proof your cover letter? Like you have a friend or use a spell check or something.
And the idea is you're sending this out to a lot of people.
Unbelievable.
It pays to invest the time once to get it really good, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Here is something that drives me crazy. When you worked somewhere, and you put 2007 to 2009, and you don't put the month, you put 2007, 2008, and you don't put the month, I think funny business.
I do too.
I think November to February, you lasted 4 months.
Yep.
Put the month. I mean, show some respect. And if you were at a place for 10 months, be honest about why you were, because I'm going to call your references.
Yeah.
That's just people are.
So that, I think, whole separate but great podcast.
We have to do a whole podcast around
how to apply for a job and then rules for employees once you have one.
How about how not to be a schmuck?
It's the same.
That's basically what we're talking about. This is a great show. Thanks again to everybody from UStream. It looks like we had well over 300 people watching, and then still 264 people. This is a 2-hour show. 2 hours of show. We have to break it in half. I don't know what we're going to do. A great show. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you in 2 Fridays. Right? No show next week, but a show after the week after. We'll see everybody in 2 Fridays. Who's the guest? Sean Spector from Gamefly. Everybody knows Gamefly, the Netflix of video games. Will be on the show in 2 Fridays. We'll see everybody at TechCrunch 50. If you'd like to win a ticket to TechCrunch 50 and you haven't already done so, use the hashtag #TechCrunch at the end of your tweets, any tweet, and then randomly every day, Alex picks somebody to send them to TechCrunch 50 because we try to get some people in there who are hustlers. You know, I got respect for you guys. We'll see you all next time on This Week in Startups.
Like we always do at this time, I go for mine. I get